It is a raucous sea of red on a red-hot day in Lincoln, Nebraska. Welcome to college football on FS1. Homecoming Saturday for the Huskers in a game that could impact the Big Ten title race. Unbeaten Rutgers visits Corn Country to take on 4-1 Nebraska. What a scene with a 401st consecutive sellout here at Memorial Stadium. Alex Faust, Robert Smith here with you. This Nebraska team, they've already made some waves. Very close to 5-0, but for an overtime loss to Illinois. And the nation is getting to know Dylan Raiola. Might he be the best freshman in all of college football?
Yeah, he very well may be, and I think the great thing is it's not like they just handed the keys of the car over to him. Remember, Heinrich Harburg, the incumbent from a year ago, he led the team in rushing and passing, but they were really impressed with the way that Dylan Raiola, he came in and he was mature, his work ethic. As a matter of fact, offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield said that Dylan Raiola, along with other freshmen, Ja'Cory Barney, like they've kind of set the tempo, and it's a very special dynamic when you have a leader as a freshman that's inspiring a full-grown team like that.
Meanwhile, Rutgers has dedicated themselves to physical, violent football. Kyle Monungai, their star running back, is emblematic of that.
Oh, man, I just love watching this guy run. Kyle Monungai, we're going to talk about this later in the game. You know, he wears this necklace in honor of his grandmother, Catherine, and he talks about the cancer struggle that she went through and how she said to him, be of service. And of course, he's a great guy off the field, but he is an absolute switch player, meaning when he gets on the field, violence. That's the way that he plays the game, and he's ready to serve up some butt whoopings when he's carrying the ball.
Rutgers looking for its first 5-0 start since when they were back in the Big East more than a decade ago. Can they get past Big Red and the horde of 85,000 plus on hand in Husker territory? Settle in for a sneaky, important matchup in the Big Ten next. A cool scene moments ago. Ndamukong Suh out of the field, leading the Huskers. Inducted into the Nebraska Athletics Hall of Fame this weekend. He has his name on the weight room at the training facility. Beautiful $160+ million facility that you and I got to tour yesterday.
Boy, just gorgeous, that facility. And Ndamukong Suh, watch, he might get flagged at some point today. I mean, that's kind of what he's known for, but really great what he's done with the program.
Speaking of gorgeous, at least it looks pretty, but it's hot. The heat will be a factor. The wind will be a factor. The wind whipping around.
Well, we talked about it, man. You know, everybody says it's a dry heat, right?
Yeah.
Like an oven. It's kind of like Phoenix, though. Like, you get that heat and you get that wind, and the crazy thing about the shape of the stadium is it's kind of creating a swirl. So we see the flags going one way on one end of the stadium and then another way on the other end of the stadium. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with that today.
See the two coaches, Greg Schiano in his second stint with Rutgers, the all-time wins leader of the program, and Matt Rhule, who has turned around programs everywhere he's been. 7 consecutive losing seasons for this Nebraska program. But Matt Rhule has them headed in the right direction. Can they win the close games? It's been a huge bugaboo, and it might be another tight one here today with two strong defenses going head-to-head. Nebraska won the toss. They will receive. 95 degrees at kickoff. And yet another sellout. And one of the best environments in college football off and running here in Lincoln. And a short kickoff. So get him out to the 25-yard line. Ramir Johnson on the return. And the Husker offense will go to work here. Held scoreless in the first half against Purdue. But here's the difference, Robert, that stands out to me. This team, even with a true freshman quarterback, seems more mature than they were a year ago.
Yeah, and we talked about that briefly in the open. And, you know, the way that Dylan Raiola has just come in and has been such a leader and showed with his work ethic that he's just willing to put in whatever it takes. It's really inspired the entire team, but especially the offense.
Raiola to pass on first down, and he hits his target at the 40-yard line, but the pass falls incomplete, intended for Jamal Banks, who racked up 176 yards receiving over the last 2 weeks. They're still without Turner Corcoran on the offensive line for Nebraska. But that's the only real injury they have up front. They're going to rotate a lot of running backs here today, and it's a way that they've stayed fresh, keep this run game going. But they need to find more balance with that run game, as this will set up a 3rd down and long. Now, Rutgers, this defense has been terrific, only allowing 3 total points in the first quarter through 4 games played. They are a little bit banged up at a couple different positions here defensively. Dariel Jabome, leading tackler for Rutgers this season, one of their linebackers. They're without Mohamed Toure, one of their linebackers, out for the season. This is expected to be a big contributor for them. 3rd down and long. Raiola keeps it short, completes underneath. Emmett Johnson is going to be close to the stick. Marked shy initially. And we'll check the spot here and see what they want to do on a 4th and what appears to be inches.
Well, it looks like they're going to be going for it here, and you can see Dante Dowdell checking in at the running back spot. Big play here on 4th down and a big decision by Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator, and of course I'm sure in conjunction with Matt Rule, the head coach, to go for it on 4th early.
High formation. Luke Lindenmeyer lines up as a blocking fullback, and they've got the 1st down. It's Dowdell, the leading rusher for Nebraska this season. 60 carries for 277 yards coming in. Though bottled up a little bit last week against Purdue, he's able to move the sticks.
Yeah, what I loved on that play, Justin Evans, the left guard, he pulls around. But Dowdell, sometimes it's BYOB, be your own blocker, and that's exactly what he had to do on that play. None of these running backs have really flashed this year, but these guys certainly are all capable.
There's the sophomore Emmett Johnson, and they feel that he's getting better with each and every week. He's forced the coaches to keep him in the rotation. It seems like they want to try to shrink the bench, as it were, but he keeps racking up some pretty big performances.
Well, it's an interesting thing about the running back position, one that I'm very familiar with. Normally the smartest and best-looking guys on the team, but, seriously, you have guys with kind of equal skill sets, and you just kind of go with the hot hand. They feel comfortable with each of them in any type of run or pass play, and you just go with the guy that's playing the best.
Thomas Fidone checks into the game, and he'll get this one across the 45. 4th season at Nebraska. Back-to-back strong weeks receiving for him. Led the Huskers in touchdown receptions last year, a gain of 7 and a 3rd and short.
Yeah, and you called him out there, partner, right as he was coming into the game. And I love watching Fidone run. I mean, he's kind of a gangly tight end. I mean, 6'6". He's listed as at 255. He's probably closer to 235 or 240. But he certainly does a good job navigating once he catches that ball. Run after catch, big with Fidone.
Scarlet Knights were packing the box, and Matt Rule and the Nebraska coaching staff didn't like the look. They will call timeout on a 3rd down and 3 upcoming, with the Huskers approaching midfield. We'll step aside. Early going here in Lincoln.
Welcome back to Lincoln. We're going to take a look at some of the throws this season from Dylan Raiola. What I love about this one is that he throws with anticipation. Watch, Banks isn't quite to the spot yet, but Raiola trusts his receiver, has the perfect touch, delivers a great ball.
Those different arm slots, the accuracy, though a bit of a drop-off in the second half of games. Last week actually flip-flopped it with Nebraska getting off to a horrible start. On 3rd down, they'll convert it. Dowdell across midfield. He's been their bell cow back most of the year, and he nets him a 1st down.
Yeah, and remember, Greg Schiano said he's really not happy with his run defense. Gap integrity bad right there. That's the area that they've been struggling this season, but credit that Cornhusker offensive line. Big opening to run through.
Rutgers allowed 207 yards on the ground to UW last week, 183 to Virginia Tech the week prior. Raiola to pass into the flat, reeled in by Dowdell, and brought down but for a loss, and it'll be 2nd down. Tackle made by Tyreen Powell, middle linebacker, who's been dealing with an Achilles injury this season, but is getting healthier and healthier as the years going on.
Man, what a great story he is. And between the wrist injury, the Achilles, getting back in there, he's a tremendous player. We'll talk more about his podcast with one of his teammates a little bit later.
Raiola, sidearm delivery into the feet of one of his linemen, Henry Letofsky. just to throw it away. He didn't like the look, and it's 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, he was trying to get that ball to Emmett Johnson on the screen, but the defense had that thing sniffed out, so he just threw that to the ground to avoid the disaster play, and that's another demonstration of the maturity, right? You have a true freshman understanding situational football. Sometimes it's better to just live to fight another play.
Corey Barney in motion. And timeout called by Rutgers. You mentioned the maturity for this young man, true freshman out of Buford, Georgia. Scott Satterfield, the offensive coordinator for Nebraska, said he has never coached a freshman as mature as Dylan Raiola, and there are 2 true freshmen, Barney being the other one. And not only are they vocal, not only are they confident, but they are students of the game, and we heard such glowing reviews about how they are week to week just absorbing more and more and applying it each and every week.
Yeah, and that's a really impressive part for me, especially with a quarterback. I mean, not to take anything away from Ja'Cory Barney, but just learning the position and be able to make the changes in the way that Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator, wants Dylan Raiola to do. He says he feels comfortable with any of the changes that he makes and understands how he needs to change his protection to get his offensive lineman in the best spot. Really impressive. You talk about with Matt Rule, he's like, no matter what time of day it is, it seems he always sees Dylan getting in more work or studying.
3rd down and 11. Fighting for an extra yard, Emmett Johnson, but he is swarmed. And this is one thing that, as you mentioned, Rutgers wanted to improve upon their run defense. They come up with a stop here and will force a punt.
Well, that was a bit of a surprise for me there. I mean, because of the win and because of the kicking situation and the way that it's been, sometimes you say, we'll get a few extra yards to try a field goal. You're pretty sure that you're not going to go for a field goal there. I'm surprised that they didn't try and drive that ball a little bit further downfield.
Would the expectation be, especially since you're thinking 4-down territory, let's just get 4 or 5 here if you can on the ground, set something up? Oh, this is going to result in a deflection. And it's picked up at the 25-yard line, a heavy collision. Brian Buschini got laid out after that punt was deflected.
He's grabbing his back there.
Oh. We'll check on the senior punter for Nebraska when we come back. Timothy Hinspeter, 44 in white, is going to get a hand on the football. And this is not going to result in a penalty, even with the collision, because this was deflected. But an ugly fall for Brian Buschini. Luckily for him, he was able to get up on his own power.
Yeah, it does look ugly. You watch the way that his helmet hits the ground, kind of bends his back up, and that's why he was holding his back. And, of course, starting kicker Tristan Alvano also been hurt, so John Hole has been the #1 kicker. Can ill afford to lose another starter, but glad he's okay.
And it was Flip Dixon who got his hand on the ball and wound up in the collision.
Here we go, baby, the noise.
After just a 10-yard punt on the net, Rutgers will take over. Ethan Kaliakmanis, their quarterback. Dancing, rolling, throwing, incomplete. Looking to the far sideline, and Kenny Fletcher quickly becoming a favorite target for the senior quarterback. The transfer from Minnesota, who started for the Golden Gophers last season against Nebraska in what was Matt Rule's first game, coached for the Huskers.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be important that Rutgers stay balanced on 1st down. But if you're Ethan Kaliakmanis, you cannot miss the layups like you had on that last play.
Saw Ty Robinson, one of their edge rushers. Good first move to get away. This is going to result in a 1st down and more for the Scarlet Knights. Up across midfield, Munungai with his first look today.
Boy, Isaac Gifford, the safety, comes up to make the stops. Looks like a deer in headlights right there. Kyle Munungai stops and starts so quickly. We talk about the fury with which he runs, but don't forget about the moves, especially at the second level. When he gets on that second level, he's so good at making that extra cut to get guys miss and turning 5-yarders into 40-yarders.
Gain of 17, Munungai again, wrapped up this time by Isaac Gifford after a short gain. First team All Big Ten last season for the Huskers.
Yep, so there you go. Gifford, he finally got that tackle, right? He missed him on the last one. He's like, I'll get you when we're in the phone booth, when you don't have as many areas to escape.
Yeah, but you know what? Monungai is still so elusive, even in those tight spaces.
Boy, he really is. Just nowhere to go on that one. But I just love watching this guy run. Remember, as a true freshman, he was in the backfield with Isaiah Pacheco, who we've seen do some pretty good things in Kansas City.
And off Monungai again. Cuts it back. Monungai slips a tackle. Gets a block from his quarterback. Gets the first down across the 35. Tackled at the 31-yard line. That's Monungai for you. 14 yards and a first down.
You hear Demir Shaw, the running back coach, on the sideline. Come on, son, get vertical, get vertical. But okay, yeah, no. I like what you're doing right there. Just comes to a complete stop once again and just finds his way. Just so much fun to watch this guy run.
Once again, among the nation's best running backs. This is what Rutgers has done so well all year. Monungai this time met in the backfield and tackled for a loss. Elijah Judy is there. Junior nose tackle from Philadelphia.
Yeah, it looks like Kelly McManus might have had an opportunity to have the ball or to pull the ball on this one. Judy is after Monungai the entire time. Remember, Kelly McManus really not known as a runner, but he can run. And with that last look, where they favor Monungai so much, his legs may be valuable as we move on.
Kelly McManus to pass, wobbling ball, caught at the 25-yard line. And it's the first touch of the day for Chris Long to set up a third down. Gain of 7.
Boy, and here's your opportunity. Communication so important in an environment like this. But remember, a couple weeks ago, they played in Lane Stadium against Virginia Tech. Came out with the victory there, so they're used to the noise. Let's see if they can get that execution here on third down. Some man-to-man opportunities.
Kelly McManus. His pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. And the Cornhusker defense, which has been a strength of theirs all year. Ty Robinson, their star defensive end, knocked it down.
Boy, big Ty Robinson along that defensive line knows that he's not going to get home. And boy, Ty Robinson, so athletic. And they talked about the way that he used to be one of those two-gap guys, right, along defensive line where, you know, you're just kind of holding people up and looking in two different gaps. And Tony White, defensive coordinator, said, no, Ty Robinson, this guy has got some great lateral movement. I mean, he's kind of built like a vending machine, but he's got some speed and quickness to him. As you can see on that last one, though, just did a great job getting that paw up at exactly the right time.
Chris Long was down to the field for a moment or two. He was questionable coming into the day for Rutgers, but he'll jog off. This is not a day for kicking. Field goals or punts. It is a difficult day for the place kickers and the punters with the wind swirling, gusting up to 24 miles an hour.
And Patel has struggled this year as well, only 2 for 4. Struggled pushing the ball. We'll see where this one goes.
This is going to be a 42-yard attempt for Jay Patel. And they're going to fake it and not get it.
Like it was Sierra Wright that made the tackle on that one. Out of that secondary, Scarlet Knights go for the fake. They turn the ball over on downs.
Time for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive. Fun environment here in Lincoln. And Dominic Sue back on campus. Gotten a glimpse of Monungai early. 3 yards in a cloud of dust a little bit to begin this game. Although with Monungai, it's more like 7-10.
Well, maybe appropriate for the series, right?
Yeah.
They played the first game in this series in 1920.
Yeah.
Polo Fields in New York.
Yes.
Nebraska won it 28-0.
The Polo Grounds, which were the home of the New York baseball giants for a long time, and in fact was Nebraska's first ever game east of Michigan. They wound up playing a road game at Penn State the week after that. But yes, this series dates back to 1920, two programs that began playing football in the late 1800s.
Wild.
Gain of 2 on first down here for the Huskers as Dowdell picks up a couple of yards.
Barney isolated on the left side of the formation.
Raiola with tons of time, steps up in the pocket, delivers on time into plus territory. It's Barney. First big chunk of the day picked up by the Huskers and a first down into Rutgers territory.
Well, he lines up on the left side of the formation here, and it's going to be a little crossing route, which is great for man-to-man. Stair steps here a little bit, gets pulled by the defender. And this is just one where Dylan Raiola says, I'm going to give my guy a chance. And what I love about Ja'Cory Barney, he's listed at 6 foot 170. Maybe soaking wet, but doubtful. But the guy's tough as nails, fearless going across the middle.
So after the gain of 28, a couple of fake handoffs. And this complete underneath to Johnson, who rumbles inside the 20, still on his feet, inside the 10. Ramir Johnson, the sixth-year senior, back-to-back chunk plays for the Huskers. This one a gain of 35.
Well, clearly Johnson heard me say that nobody's really emerged out of that running back spot. It's so great. You got your offensive lineman blocking in front of you, but he does his best. Marshawn Lynch imitation on this one, busting through some tackles. Nice finish, and what I love is he did a great job protecting that ball. 2 hands in traffic. Doesn't do you any good for a run like that to get that thing knocked out late.
First down at the Rutgers 9-yard line. Nebraska knocking on the door. Johnson to the 5. Swarmed and tackled there. Flip Dixon coming in to be part of that gang tackle along with Desmond Igbonason, nickel, the senior from Union, New Jersey. Rutgers in the red zone this year defensively, one of the best in the nation. Limited UW to just 11 points on 4 red zone trips, 3 missed field goals from the Huskies. Opponents scoring on just 54% of red zone possessions.
Watch big Fedoni on this one, 6'6".
Raiola to the end zone and broken up. Intended for Jamal Banks as he was tied up with Eric Rogers.
Yeah, because of Eric Rogers. Eric Rogers, to me, looks like this is going to be, or should have been, interference. And Cornhusker Nation agrees with me in the stadium. Not too much of a surprise. I thought Rogers got there a little bit early. Back shoulder throw. Doesn't have his head turned back to the ball, not going for the ball. And it doesn't matter anyway when you get a hook around the waist like that and impede the receiver. I thought that should have been a flag.
3rd and goal. Rutgers looking to limit the damage here. Raiola to the corner, and diving to the pylon is Fedoni. He is short, marked out at the 1.
Well, we're going to take a look at that left foot. He does get the ball to the pylon, but it looks like the left foot may go out of bounds right there. It looks like that's a good call. But we'll see it from the other angle, and can't really tell if they match up angles to see if that ball got to the pylon before that left foot steps out of bounds.
The ruling on the field that the Warner was short of the goal line with a foot out of bounds is under further review.
We chatted briefly with some of the replay officials just a couple of doors down, and they'll have the ability to sync up all these looks.
Yeah, it clearly looks like it's out of bounds there. Can we get Dean in anyway, though?
Maybe.
I just like talking to Dean sometimes, Alex.
You've chatted with him before?
Not that it's just like, I talked to him, but he didn't talk back.
Oh,
so
he couldn't hear you.
I don't know if he could hear me.
Okay.
Or he might have just been ignoring me. I can't tell.
That's also possible. Dean, Robert really wants to talk to you, so give him the time of day, will you?
I've been waiting.
Hello, Dean. You're my hero.
I've been waiting. I was like, come on, let's get something in the Nebraska-Rutgers game so I can talk to you guys. But we're looking at the left foot here, and that's the key. The officials marked him out of bounds right there. If he's not, you can give him the score because the ball eventually is going to hit the pylon, and that would put it in the end zone. I just don't see enough to change this.
The ruling on the field that the runner's foot was out of bounds with the ball at the 1 stands. It is 4th down.
Right on it as always, Dino. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dean.
You got it, guys.
So this will be 4th and goal. And let's see what Nebraska does here. Kicking, and the operation around the kicking game has been downright dreadful. We've already seen a blocked punt today. They're going to keep the offense on the field, try to get this 1 yard. Rutgers has not allowed a first quarter touchdown this season. Handoff, touchdown. Dowdell punches it in, and Nebraska strikes first.
Well, I love the play call here, like a good old-fashioned ISO. You get the fullback in front of you, and you don't just go straight up into the line of scrimmage. Bounce that thing just a little bit to the outside, and they did a great job along that offensive line, just kind of holding it there. And with that lead block of the fullback on Shaquan Loyal, able to just kind of walk that thing in there. And the balloon release.
Quite the scene with the wind whipping around as it is.
It's like the movie It. Very disturbing.
Extra point is good. And for the first time this season, Rutgers has conceded a first quarter touchdown. Nebraska up 7-zip. Well, you had the 28-yarder to Barney, the 36-yarder for Johnson. But it was the 1-yarder, and this is Nebraska football. They punch it in for 7.
Yeah, and you see Barrett Liebentritt, the fullback, and he's going to get up on Shaquan Loyal. But watch number 22, Tyreen Powell, the linebacker. He kind of gets caught up in the wash, and what you want to do is what they call overlap there. So the linebackers are really supposed to scrape in unison so that when you get that lead blocker, take one of your potential tacklers out of the way. That second guy is supposed to be there, but Tyreen Powell ran into his own guy and wasn't able to get all the way over.
Nebraska had been just 1 for 5 on 4th down this season coming in. Well, they strike first here, and we'll see if Rutgers can respond. Remember the Scarlet Knights going for that fake field goal. Well, their backup DBs working on special teams. Timmy Ward was spotted immediately. Fair call to the goal line. It'll be a touchback for the Scarlet Knights. Tonight, the NLDS is on FS1. Shohei Ohtani makes his postseason debut as the Dodgers take on the Padres in an NL West showdown. Tonight, 8 Eastern on FS1, the exclusive home of the NLDS.
Who do you like in that one?
The way the Padres finished the regular season, man, it's hard to go against him. But Shohei Ohtani, have you seen him in person yet?
I haven't seen him in person.
Oh.
I mean, that's just insane.
Yes.
50-50?
Yeah.
51-51, the Marlins were able to tag another one on there or tap another one on there at the end.
Remarkable. So the Rutgers offense back to work. Handoff. And Manungai. Boy, he's just impossible to bring down. Finally tackled at the 40-yard line by Gifford after a gain of 14.
I had a running back coach say to me, what if you had made that one extra cut? Watch the end of this run with Kyle Manungai. That one extra cut. I mean, that's another 4 or 5 yards, and he does that so consistently. Just love the way that this guy runs. He really understands how to get that extra yardage.
Matt Rule had a great quote leading into this game. He said, it's like he's from the Matrix or something. Nobody touches him. Manungai again.
He's the one.
Yeah. Picks up 4 here on first down.
Well, that's a good first down. And the way that they run the football, and they tried it early. I mean, the very first play of the game, tried to go with a little play action there. It's going to have to reveal itself because this Nebraska defense, Tony White, defensive coordinator, it's an interesting defensive style. They're normally only playing a 3-down front, but they fit gaps in an interesting way because a lot of times they have 3 safeties, and at some point they're just going to load up.
Looked like Nebraska may have jumped. No flag, though. And it'll be a 3rd down and short upcoming. Remember last week, Rutgers was outgained 521 to 299. But their run game and clock control, combined with strong defense, kept them in the game. 3rd down and 2 here as they approach midfield. And off Monungai, gets the first down, makes a cut, crosses midfield, and is wrapped up at the Nebraska 45-yard line by Tommy Hill, who's been battling a foot injury but looks healthy this week.
Ubon Mielen, number 18, on the defensive right, just chooses the wrong way to go. I mean, this is why you're assigned gaps on certain plays, in certain formation, and you jump out of your gap and it just leaves a huge opening and opportunity to convert on the 3rd and short.
Beg your pardon, on the tackle, Deshaun Singleton brings him down as we approach the end of the quarter. First down for Rutgers, and for the first time they give Monungai a breather, allowing Sam Brown to get into the game. Gain of 5. We'll see if that's the last play of the quarter. Looks like Rutgers is content to let the clock run down. A little bit of taste of both teams and their strengths. We've seen the quarterback play from Dylan Raiola. We've seen the run game from Rutgers. We've seen special teams become a factor already. And we have 15 minutes in the books here in Lincoln. 7-0 Nebraska here on FS1.
Welcome back to Lincoln. We're going to take a look at Kyle Monungai. And this run a couple weeks ago, 6 different tacklers tried and failed for Washington there. It's incredible to watch him play, and you can see the raw emotion right there. Again, one of those switch players, man. Nicest guy in the world off the field. You turn him, or you get him on the field, he just turns into an animal.
See if Monungai checks back in the next couple of plays. Once again sitting this one out as Brown carries for about a yard or 2. It'll set up a 3rd and manageable. Rutgers was 7 for 15 on 3rd down last week on the season, better than 50%. Here is Monungai right on cue. When they stalled out in Nebraska territory in the first quarter, Monungai was not part of the sequence.
And remember, Kelly McManus can be dangerous with those legs, and it may be 3rd down, but you can be guaranteed they're going to go for it on 4th as well.
He's only attempted 3 throws. His 4th falls incomplete. Broken up by Marquise Buford. And it's 4th down.
This is a great job by Marquise Buford, and this is textbook, man. Man-to-man coverage right here. Compresses the space, but watch, he doesn't get there too early. It goes up through the hands of Long to knock the ball away. And they, of course, are going for it on 4th with the issues they've had with kicking.
Got to get to the 35. Nebraska packing the box, but the play is blown dead. Timeout called by the Huskers. So they'll talk things over, as will Greg Schiano and the Scarlet Knights. Well, he mentioned that this has been a long-standing series dating back to 1920. And there was a bit of a gap from when they last played, and the margin of victory has shrunk each and every time, even though Nebraska is unbeaten against Rutgers. A thriller in 2022. Came down to the wire. Nebraska trailed 13-0. Wound up winning 14-13. 4th down and 3. And this Rutgers run game keep the drive alive. A bungled snap. Kelly McManus throws it away, but a flag comes in.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
I guess the upshot there is they'll get another crack at it.
Yeah, the Bears still will go for it. It's that big left tackle, Holland Pierce. What? It looks like everybody. That's what they called it on. It's like the center didn't snap on the clap, and they are going to punt this one.
Yep.
It's a little bit too far.
Interesting formation here. Unless they're going to try something again.
Oh, no. They'll get out of this.
All right. Jacob Anderson back at his own 42 to try to drop this deep. And this rugby-style kick will bounce to the goal line, take a huge hop, and become a touchback, which sheds quite a bit of yardage off the nets. Tomorrow, Robert, huge day of football on Fox, 1 Eastern. Browns take on rookie sensation at Jaden Daniels of the Commanders. Or 4 o'clock, Kyler Murray and the Cards take on Brock Purdy and the Niners. Check for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Boy, Jaden Daniels, he's just been incredible as a rookie. Really turned that franchise around.
Nebraska up 7-0, starting from their own 20. And Dylan Raiola and the Husker offense back to work. Huge tackle here in the backfield to stop the run. Barney got lit up by Shaquan Loyal.
Boy, Shaquan Loyal is so good with his instincts. He just diagnoses things so quickly. But talked before about Ja'Cory Barney. You've seen this so many times. They use him a lot in the jet sweep, but even when he catches that ball downfield, he's taking some big shots, but he always pops right back up.
No gain on the play. Raiola to keep it short. It's broken up. Nearly intercepted. Igbinosun, who read it the whole way.
Yeah, Igbinosun, he recognizes that concept coming from the backside, and that's really a great job by that Rutgers defense once again. Joe Harris-Simiak, defensive coordinator, really does a good job with these guys, preparing them for situational football, expecting certain route combinations, certain down and distance. You can see that right there.
Rutgers look like jump, but were they drawn offside?
a lot of pointing. I think this one's going to be on Nebraska, but we'll see.
Larry Smith, our referee.
So you wonder maybe if a defender jumped into the neutral zone and drew somebody offside, that may be what the conversation is about.
False start. Offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Henry Lutovsky, the right guard.
Boy, it's close. It looked like a defender might have moved but not have gotten into the neutral zone. Maybe that's what it was.
Right, because the ball wasn't snapped.
Exactly.
3rd and 15. Raiola drops back to pass over the middle. Oh, a huge hit with the pass falling incomplete. And a flag comes in. Isaiah Nair, the target. But was he targeted?
And that's Shaquan Loyal coming over with the big shot. You're going to see it's really tough to tell. That's why it's so hard to call these plays, bang plays, and defenseless player. Any hit to the head and neck area is going to be targeting, but looked like Loyal got that shoulder in there. We'll see if it was too high on the shoulders.
There's no foul for targeting.
Yeah, just from the initial look, it looked like it was going to be a clean hit. I mean, he comes in with the shoulder. That's the thing about Loyal, man. He'll bring some heat. Yeah, and it looks like it was shoulder to shoulder, really. Not to the head or neck areas. It's tough to tell, again, bang, but they got together, did what they were supposed to do as an officiating crew, and of course, with targeting, there can be reviews as well.
They're just having fun playing it up on the scoreboard to get a rise out of the crowd now. So Nebraska will punt this away, and again, Brian Buschini, who took that hard shot with that blocked punt, partially deflected punt in the first quarter, back out there for Nebraska. Low snap, and this one, a line drive kick, bounces at the 45, takes a Nebraska roll all the way down to the Rutgers 24. They've been struggling with those long snapping operations all year. This one, though, nets them a 61-yard punt.
They are bunched up around the line of scrimmage. Hand off to Dell. Dell off the right side. Touchdown, Nebraska. Dante Dowdell finds pay dirt. 6-0 Big Red. Let those balloons.
Great to hear the voice of Greg Sharp, the voice of the Huskers. And you see these signs around the stadium. Sharp strong. Greg was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. He was a little bit worried about making it public and making something about himself, but the outpouring of support has been wonderful from the Husker faithful. And Tom Rinaldi had a great story this morning on Big Noon Kickoff about Greg's journey, and great to see him. Here it is, his birthday today. Happy birthday, Greg. We'll see if Nebraska gives him a win to celebrate. 7-0 Huskers, second quarter against unbeaten Rutgers. Kaliakmanis connects with his target, 30-yard line. And KJ Duff will dive across the 35 to pick up a first down for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, Nebraska defensive coordinator Tony White, we talked about this 3-3-5 defense and why he likes running this defense, and it's the multiplicity of looks and being able to bring pressure from different places, but sometimes you get guys out of place, and that's exactly what happened on that last play. Get a free runner, you want to bring that heat, but you got to get that coverage set on the back end.
Kaliakmanis to pass. It's another first down as he hits Daimir Muller. Hasn't recorded a touchdown since the season opener, but the fifth-year senior is into plus territory.
Well, I tell you the thing about Kaliakmanis, he's got such a compact, quick release, got a cannon for an arm. You see that throw all the way outside the numbers, throws that with anticipation. And Miller, a tremendous target.
This is the biggest test yet for Rutgers in a variety of ways, especially for their quarterback. And he'll tuck and run here across the 40. Nice ankle tackle in the open field. Malcolm Hartzog, a junior from Silver Creek, Mississippi, to cut down the run, and it's second down.
A nice gain on second down, puts you in a nice, manageable 2nd and 5 position. And this is, let's talk about opportunity to go with a little play action to drive the ball downfield. Defenses expect run so much, you get a lot of man-to-man coverage, which is what you see right here. At least that's the way they're lining up for it. Give you an opportunity to have one of those one-on-one matchups.
Kenny Fletcher, the tight end, setting the edge on the right side. Kaliakmanis throws into a tight window, and it's incomplete. Broken up by Marquise Buford, intended for Chris Long, and it's third down.
3-on-3, Marquise Buford. We saw him in coverage earlier. Nice job knocking the ball away earlier, and here we are again in that 3rd and 5 situation. or because of the kicking issues that Rutgers has, you're assuming that there's going to be a green light on 4th down so long as they don't lose yardage like they did on the last drive.
Brown in the backfield here. Miller in motion. Kaliakmanis to pass, well protected. To the sideline, incomplete, intended for Miller, but a flag. In and around the area of his release out of his break, he and Buford were there. And we'll check the penalty.
Defense, number 2. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First.
So Isaac Gifford, the flag's going to be.
Called it on.
Yeah, he called. I thought he called it on 2, and it looks like it was Marquise Buford in coverage there. I believe that's probably where the hold was, but it looked like Ben Black may have just fallen down. Let's take another look at that one.
Nebraska and penalties have been a toxic combination at times, averaging 73 penalty yards per game. One of the worst marks in the nation.
Yeah, one of those penalties on Matt Rule, throwing his headset down on the sideline.
I'll review this for targeting here. Taking a look at this hit along the sideline for targeting.
Ooh, you can see that head turn now. Defenseless player, any hit to the head or neck area would be targeting. Doesn't have to be the crown.
Dane Blandino with us once again. Marquise Buford, number 3 in red, the man in question.
This will be the best look. We're looking at contact to the head neck area. I thought he got him below the head initially, and that's what it looks like there. Looks like the contact may be to the upper chest. Has to be clear cut for them to make this targeting. Not called on the field, but replay can add it if the contact is to the head neck.
And if that main contact, Dean, because you can see that head snap there, and it looks like it might be incidental contact.
There is no foul for targeting.
Well, I was going to ask, it looked like it was incidental contact to the face mask that caused the helmet to turn, or the head to turn the way that it did, and they just deemed that that wasn't forcible contact to the face mask that caused the head to turn.
So with all that, after the holding penalty, it's a first down for Rutgers at the Nebraska 29. On first down, play action, pass underneath, caught by Kenny Fletcher, pushed out for no gain. Second down.
A nice shot by Tony White and his defense. Showing the film, right? John Bullock. I mean, they just wore out Virginia Tech with that play and used it quite a bit again against Washington a week ago with that motion. They kind of run a triple option type play where Kaliakmanis can run it or throw it to a couple different receivers. Nebraska had it sniffed out.
Again, Kaliakmanis to pass, floats this ball too tall for long. Incomplete, third down.
Boy, it's interesting how quarterbacks sometimes have consistent misses. And you know, with Kaliakmanis, the thing that you notice is when guys are going across the middle and he's trying to hit them, he'll usually miss behind the receiver, so he's a little bit behind them. And usually when he's throwing to the sideline, he gets that thing too far to the outside, doesn't give his receiver a chance.
Flag will stop the play here. False start coming up against Rutgers. They had one on a 4th and 3 earlier.
Looks like it's the same thing as well.
Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, third down.
It's the right tackle, Tyler Needham.
Well, they called the last one on the left tackle, Holland Pierce, and I thought it looked like he was snapping for the ball. Oh, no, they did move early on that one. Just trying to get out of there a little bit early. And it is so loud here. They had to deal with it at Lane Stadium, but not as long because they got an early lead in that game. Consistent noise here in Lincoln.
Four-man rush. Kaliakmanis takes off to his left, throws across his body, a dangerous throw, and it falls incomplete. Miller was his target. It's fourth down. And again, the Scarlet Knights stall out, and the Cornhusker D comes up with a stop.
Take a look at the wide receivers on the left-hand side of your screen right here. We got Miller and Strong. I thought Kaliakmanis, those were much better opportunities to try and throw that ball. He tries to throw it late across the middle. Take a look at the video and want that one back.
Sorry, going to go for the field goal here. 52-yard try. Wind at the kicker's back. Jay Patel, whose career long is 51. This has the distance, and it hits the upright. Distance was not the problem, but a doink, and it's still 7-0.
We talked about his tendency to push the ball, and certainly a push right there, and catches that right upright.
Patel now 2 for 5 on the season. Didn't attempt one last week. Rutgers turns it over on downs once again. They had a fake field goal earlier. This one a miss from 52. Huskers take over, short field, and a good run on first down here for Dowdell, who now has 5 touchdowns on the season, tied for top 5 in the Big Ten.
A nice job by his right guard, Henry Lutovsky, getting up to the second level, just controlling that line of scrimmage, and here they are in that 2nd and 5 potential shot opportunity with play action.
I keep it with Dowdell. And it'll create a 3rd down and 1. Flip Dixon with the tackle. This feels like an important pivot point of the game here. Midway, 2nd quarter. Nebraska coming up with another stop defensively, and putting the Rutgers defense back on the field on a hot day in Lincoln. Nebraska 1 for 5 on 3rd down this afternoon. They'll hand it off again, and they'll get the first down. Dowdell limited to just 21 yards last week against Purdue. Coming over from Oregon, played in 6 games with the Ducks, but seldom used. Was a top running back recruit out of high school.
Boy, and they say that you don't really hear about linemen unless they're messing up. Well, I want to give some love again to Henry Lutovsky, who's great. And talking to offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield, he said that guy's just straight country. Like, he's a road grader, and he's been a road grader on these last 3 plays. Tremendous job on all 3.
Nice move by Ramir Johnson, and a 6-yard gain on first down. And this is where that running back rotation can wear you down.
Yeah, no question about it. And they're just dominating up front as well. This Nebraska offensive line, talk about all the experience. I think it's the fifth oldest offensive line in the nation. That was when everybody was healthy, but these guys are doing a nice job controlling it today.
Johnson again, and he's wrestled down. Jabome, leading tackler for Rutgers this season. Quebecois native from Canada. 2nd in the Big Ten in tackles coming in. It's a 3rd down and 1. And there's an injured Rutgers player. Quan Loyal is slow to get back to his feet.
And they're getting those hands underneath the shoulder pad, and Loyal, man, he will hit you now. So a lot of times get those stingers, and like that arm's just hanging a little bit. He'll come up and make a big hit.
He took a big shot earlier in the game. Rutgers sitting at 4-0. Looking for their first 5-0 start since joining the Big Ten. Coming off their first winning season since 2014. Greg Schiano, second time around. Looks like the results are shaping up to be similar to the first time.
And he's really doing a great job building the program, but he credits Eric Joseph. Eric Joseph's kind of his operational guy. There's a funny story he told us about calling him a binder guy because he's got a binder on every one of their players and everybody that they're recruiting. And Greg Schiano said, well, I kind of need digital copies of that stuff. He's like, okay, well, wait right here. And he's like a couple hours later, got the digital copy too. And, you know, he talked about the comparison to the NFL, really. You know, you're almost like you need like your general manager, somebody that's like a pro personnel person evaluating talent on your roster and other rosters.
They brought in a fullback once again to help convert the first down with Dowdell. Aaron Liebentritt, number 34 in red, who was utilized earlier today.
Yeah, good old school eye football. And Liebentritt's going to lead to the outside, but you can see Dowdell cutting back up inside. Justin Evans leading the way, pulling around from that left guard spot.
Get to throw the ball this possession. Fake the sweep. Raiola steps up and can't get away. Going to wind up gaining a yard in the process here. Jordan Walker in on the tackle for Rutgers. Second down. One thing that Rutgers, sorry, Robert, one thing that they haven't done very well is get to the quarterback, and that's been a nagging issue for this defense.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Jordan Walker, he's a former walk-on. He was 210 pounds, converted to a defensive end. Try and get that speed, get those guys, put a little extra weight on them.
Raiola, play action, is picked off. Flip Dixon, and he only has one man to beat, is going to be forced out along the sideline by Emmett Johnson. Raiola staring right at him, throws the interception, and the Scarlet Knights come up with a takeaway.
Boy, you called it, partner. Dylan Raiola, he had a little bit of trouble with this snap and just kind of predetermines that he's going to throw this football. And Flip Dixon was right in his line of sight. Not sure how he didn't see him there. I can't tell if he was trying to pull that one back. I mean, we know what kind of touch he has, but that's not going to be a touch throw. He just throws it right to him.
Nebraska turnovers were a huge problem for them last year. Turned the ball over 31 times. Only the fourth turnover for the Huskers this season. Rutgers now +4 turnover margin as they take over in Nebraska territory. We'll see if the short field does anything for this Scarlet Knights offense that again seemed to peter out as they got across the 40-yard line of Nebraska last time.
Yeah, and Tony White, defensive coordinator at Nebraska, is doing a nice job. He's getting a little bit of movement up front now. Saw Ty Robinson, a little bit of a loop stunt. The key there is fitting properly, and they were able to do that from the second level with Mekhi Bayer.
On second down, Kaliak-Manis is sacked. Ty Robinson unabated to the quarterback. Back-to-back weeks with a sack, and it's third down. Loss of 9.
He's got such a quick first step for a big man. Now Taj White in at that left guard spot because Brian Felter was out with the injury, but you could see the arm over, little swim move there. Heat-seeking missile.
Rutgers announcing that Felter is out for the season. Third down and 17. Kaliak-Manis, running back screen. Manungai makes a man miss. What a job by Manungai to get him to the 36-yard line and set up a fourth down here for the Scarlet Knights. A gain of 13. Tackled by Javen Wright, who's been battling not only injuries, but that blood clot situation. And an injury for the Huskers here at the end of the play as Malcolm Hartzog is slow to get up. So we'll step aside with the injury. 4:37 to go in the half, and the Scarlet Knights with a 4th down to come.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Alabama takes the field as the #1 team in the country. Find out which top 10 team got blown out by 31 points. And UCLA was not so happy in Happy Valley. Alex and Robert will be thrilled to see you at the half.
Oh, as always, thrilled to see you, Mike. We'll see you in just a bit. Malcolm Hartzog walks off the field under his own power.
Well, that's his nickname, Thrill.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Next time I see him in L.A., I'll apologize. 4th down and 3 for Rutgers. They need to get to the 33-yard line. Callie McManus to pass, flushed out to his left, looking, passing, intercepted. Marquise Buford. 3rd career INT, first this season, and each side has turned it over here in the 2nd quarter. Nebraska will take over.
Another head shaker or head scratcher decision to throw the football, but watch the quick pressure that Hutmaker gets. Flushes Callie McManus out of the pocket, moving to his left, and Marquise Buford, we've called his name a bunch of times today, but I have no idea what Callie McManus was trying to do there. Just threw it right to him.
Well, both quarterbacks with questionable decisions. Each have thrown a pick, and Raiola back to work under center here. With Dowdell in the backfield, he'll give it to him. And he'll dive ahead. Physical run for 4 yards for the sophomore from Picayune, Mississippi. And a late injury here for the Scarlet Knights. Keontae Hamilton is slow to get up, the starting nose tackle for Rutgers. I mentioned they have had some trouble with their front. Didn't register a single tackle for loss last week. And Hamilton is unable to get to his feet.
And only 4 sacks on the season coming into the game. And certainly an area you can just try and get new guys in. And see what happens on this play. When it just gotten rolled up. Yeah, right on the back of his foot. Body's flying around.
They're going to work on his left ankle. Greg Schiano's team, he said to us, they're defensively still trying to figure out a little bit who they are.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, of course, he wasn't happy about that run defense. Everybody knows that you need to stop the run first as a defense. And, you know, he's trying to get these young guys ready. You know, he's talked about the way that he's had these developmental periods, and not all teams do this, where you get those young guys running your defense or running your offense throughout the course of the week. And, you know, but like a program like Northwestern, he said, you know, we've got to win in the margins. And developing those young players for situations like this where somebody goes down, it's not like a program like, I mean, Nebraska's got 145 players on the roster. It's not like you can just roll the next guy in there.
Joe Harris-Simiak, the defensive coordinator in his 3rd season with Rutgers.
Boy, he loves his job, doesn't he?
Yes.
He just loves the details. He says he loves the chess match.
On the ground again for the Huskers. It'll set up a 3rd and short with Johnson getting the call. Former Mr. Football in Minnesota in high school from Minneapolis. Aaron Lewis with the tackle. 3rd and 2. Huskers moving quickly. And they will get the 1st down with Johnson. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They are starting to tear up this Rutgers defensive front.
Yeah, they really are, especially right at that interior. You know, we talked about Ben Scott, the experienced, the savvy center, as they call him, out of Honolulu. And then at that right guard spot, number 59, Henry Lutovsky. Those guys are dominating.
Ben Scott, the center, 46th career start today. Raiola to pass. It's caught at the 40-yard line, turning upfield, Jamal Banks. Third chunk play that Raiola has identified today. And the Huskers are on the move.
You're going to see Banks working in that slot, coming across the field. But what I love from the true freshman quarterback, Dylan Raiola, once again, just like a replay that we watched earlier on a touchdown a week ago, it's that anticipation and that comfort, that confidence with his receivers. He's really developed quite the rapport with those guys. They trust him, and he trusts them.
First catch of the day for Banks. He racked up 176 receiving yards the last 2 weeks. Here's a nice cut upfield from Ramir Johnson. Stop cut across the 15. And the Huskers are rolling into the Rutgers red zone.
I get to call his name again. Number 59, the right guard, Henry Lutovsky, the road grader, coming out and getting the big block on Eric Rogers. You know, that's one of those ones. Those cornerbacks hate to see that when those guards come pulling around. He's really done a tremendous job. Not just a road grader, got some good feet.
Gain of 18 as we hit the 2-minute timeout in Lincoln. And the Huskers are knocking on the door, trying to double the lead. Homecoming weekend here in Lincoln. You've heard of Coachella. Well, this year's theme in the University of Nebraska is Cornshella. Cornstalk Festival, parade, alumni drive-through tailgate. They had a battle of the bands on campus.
I love it, man. You know, we came into the Midwest. We got into Illinois a couple weeks ago. I loved seeing the corn, even people dressed as corn. But just what a great environment here. I called a game 2020, which was a COVID year, so didn't get an opportunity to see the sea of red and the sea of the corn hats. Just a tremendous fan base, and no surprise that they've had the sellouts as many years as they have. It's one of the most impressive fan bases in the country.
Late substitution here for Nebraska. 2 minutes to go, first half. And the Huskers knocking on the door. Handed off, Dowdell. Gains a yard. And we'll see if Rutgers will burn a timeout here. Yep. So a minute 53 to go. We get second down and 9 here upcoming. Nebraska, you're talking about the tradition here and how the fan support obviously going back decades with the sellout streak. None longer in the country. This Nebraska team has had 7 straight losing seasons. They're off to a 4-1 start this year. Best start they've had since 2016 when they started 7-0. They briefly entered the AP poll, starting 3-0 before that overtime loss to Illinois, that dynasty in the 90s. 1997, their last national championship. Since 2016, Nebraska is the only power conference program to not qualify for a bowl game.
Yeah, really amazing, but I think they got the right guy to turn this thing around. We'll talk a little bit more about Matt Rhule and his approach and how going to the NFL impacted the way that he thinks.
Handoff, and Bonner to the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska. Janaison Bronner. 12 yards on the score. Nebraska leads 13-zip.
Well, I love this call by offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield, and Bonner, a former fullback, kind of like that second guy around. You get one of the offensive linemen coming on the wrap, but you could just see the acceleration. Didn't have a chance. They're a little bit late with their eyes defensively, but just no chance to catch him. Once Bonner turned it on, Tyreen Powell, the linebacker, trying to give chase, but too much speed from Bonner.
Extra point is good. Janiron Bonner with his second touchdown of the season. And Nebraska to a 2-score lead.
Greg Schiano's not happy about something. I'm sure he's not happy about the way his defense played there, but looked like he might have been barking at an official. I'm not sure what it was.
And at 48 to go in the half. Well, we heard from the Nebraska coaching staff coming into the day. They needed better balance with the run. Seems like they've achieved that to start this game. 94 rushing yards, 109 passing yards. And their defense has held up their end of the bargain.
Yeah, well, you just wonder, though, if you're Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers, after that last throw from Ethan Kaliakmanis, I mean, just threw it right to a defender. How risky do you want to get in a situation like this on the road?
Christian Dremel, the deep man, will call for the fair catch. And Rutgers with one timeout and 1:48. Will try to find some way here. Had opportunities for a couple of field goals, but nothing threatening otherwise. Rutgers drive that ended in the fake in the first quarter. One that ended in an interception in this quarter. They've gotten to the Nebraska 25, 43, 34, and 36, but no further. And they'll start from their own 25. Manungai unable to get away this time. Gifford there on the stop. And a loss of 1.
Well, we talked about the mindset heading into this drive from Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator.
Kaliakmanis to pass to the outside. Quick out for KJ Duff. And he's across the 40-yard line out of the 43. First down for Rutgers.
Well, that's a good throw from Kaliakmanis. Nice throw outside of the numbers. KJ Duff, another true freshman, 6'6". It's a big target out there. Looks like Kaliakmanis. Those are the kind of things that can settle you down.
19 yards on the completion. Clock stops with 1:25 to go in the half. There comes the blitz, and it's picked up by Manungai, buying Kaliakmanis some time.
And this is what Kirk Shiraka told us about Kyle Manungai. More than a willing blocker. He understands his job is more than just running the football. He protects his man, Kaliakmanis, and Kaliakmanis expected Kenny Fletcher to continue to move to the right. And he threw that ball there, and Fletcher had already stopped.
Nebraska might be coming again here. 4-man front. Kaliakmanis steps up, stumbles across the 45-yard line. Will that force Greg Schiano to burn a timeout? Clock will approach 1 minute to go. They reset the ball for play. Third down after a gain of 4. Third down and 6. Kaliakmanis steps up in the pocket. Sidearm throw. Juggled and intercepted. Sierra Wright, the USC transfer, on another crossbody throw from Kaliakmanis, and the second turnover for Rutgers.
Well, we talked about this earlier in the consistency sometimes of quarterbacks' misses, and talked about that tendency of Kaliakmanis to throw behind receivers, and Sierra Wright in the perfect place to take advantage of it. And Kaliakmanis, it was an unusual pass attempt. It's like he tried to push that ball, had to climb in the pocket, and boy, that's tough. That's one where you got to sit your quarterback down. Back-to-back drives with interceptions. One where he just threw it right to a defender, and there just threw it behind his receiver. Sierra Wright, with that closing speed of his, able to make the pick.
Back-to-back turnovers, and now Nebraska essentially going 2 for 1 here. Quick throw, Raiola to the outside, and Fedoni will pick up 7. One timeout remaining for Nebraska. 45 seconds left in the half. On second down, Raiola with time. Floats this one incomplete. Intended for Banks. Third down.
Yeah, not sure if the wind affected that one at all. Not trying to make excuses for him, but I think he recognized that route was coming open pretty early.
And keep in mind, any fourth down situation here, unless it's chip shot territory, we expect Nebraska to go for it. The kicking operation has been that bad. They will pick up the first down here, though, with just about a half minute to go in the quarter.
Of course, the clock stops with the first down. We're going to get cranking here right away, so get everybody lined up and get that next play going.
See if Raiola takes a shot here. Scanning, throwing this way, and tackled out of bounds is Johnson. Clock will stop with 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, Igbinosun tries to make the tackle on that one in bounds. He just went for a little bit of a ride, though.
And Nebraska still with one timeout. On second down, Raiola running out of time, has to throw it away. Bit of an argument here from the Rutgers sideline.
It may be grounding.
Yeah.
He was inside the pocket. I believe it went past the line of scrimmage, but no receiver in the area. Still in the pocket. It's going to be grounding.
Officials huddled up to determine whether to throw the flag. And there it comes.
Intentional grounding, offense number 15. That's a spot foul, loss of down. Nebraska has chosen to use their last timeout to avoid a 10-second subtraction. This leaves Nebraska with no timeouts.
And it leaves them on their own side of midfield after all that.
Well, now you try some double move, something, some big chunk plays, but without any timeouts. You really don't even have time for a long completion unless it's near the sideline, because you're not going to have the opportunity to line up and get your field goal unit on the field.
Raiola with time completes along the near sideline, and Johnson scampers out of bounds with 10 seconds left. Fourth down. And we'll see if they just chuck it here.
Dylan Raiola took his helmet off and walked to the sideline.
Yeah, you got to go back out there, bud.
Wait a second. We're going to try this thing. Well, he was upset and threw his helmet off and just figured that they were going to punt the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you could drop back, take a long pass play, and the only risk there would be an interception and a run back. Or incompletion with time on the clock. So they'll take the delay of game here, and maybe that'll buy some room to get their punter out there. But looks like just a little confusion of how they want to go about this final 10 seconds in the half. And meanwhile, for Rutgers and Greg Schiano, what's been their worst offensive half of football this year. Love to get to the locker room here down just 14. Rutgers came in with a plus 48 point differential in the first half this season. Going to be a pooch punt here. And that'll land in the field of play. Yep. They'll leave that on the field, let time expire. And that's probably the best execution you could ask for in that situation. As we hit the half, Nebraska with a 14-0 lead over Rutgers, trying to end the Scarlet Knights' unbeaten run to begin the season. Go to the LA studio, State Farm halftime show. Here's Mike Hill.
The thrill.
Indeed, 8th best scoring defense in the nation right now, pitching a shutout. Nebraska looking good at the half, 14-0 over undefeated Rutgers. It is Mike Hill, State Farm halftime show. Emmanuel Acho, Coach Chris Peterson. It's not like Nebraska's defense needs any help right now, but Rutgers' offense is certainly giving it to them as we take a look at the State Farm halftime highlights. Miscues a big story in the first half as well.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, Rutgers comes out trying to fake this field goal, which I actually thought was a good call. Nebraska plays it better. They do a great job. Then they come back and try this 51-yard field goal. You can see the wind having an effect, blowing it right there. And then Kaliakmanis, little bit of a tough first half. 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. 4th down here, trying to make something happen. Rutgers just needs to get a spark. They've had nothing going on offense. You know, the game of momentum like we always talk about.
4 times they've tried, 4 times they failed. As a defense, I look at it as Rutgers has 4 turnovers. You're 0-2 on 4th down. You also have 2 turnovers by the quarterback and 2 interceptions. So like Coach said, if you can convert one of those plays, if one of those 4th downs turn into a first down, or if you just don't throw a pick, it's a much different ball game.
2 of those picks in the first half, they're going.
1 for 8 between 3rd down and 4th down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to do anything good.
Once again, Nebraska's defense, 4 of their 5 opponents this season, under 10-point scoring, on pace to do that today as well. See what happens in the second half coming up momentarily. Hey, plenty of college football coming your way tonight at 7:30 Eastern. 16th-ranked Iowa State hosts Baylor. And then at 11 is Texas Tech in Arizona. You can catch all the action on Fox. Hey, last week, Alabama beat Georgia in a thriller.
That was
number
last
one
week.
team in the nation. This, I can't even believe I'm saying this.
I'll say it.
They're losing to Vanderbilt at the half. We got highlights from that. I mean, the Commodores jumped all over the Tide here. And you know what? We talk about Alabama's true freshman. This true freshman right here, Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, my God.
Is he amazing?
Nice.
Look at that.
God, dog.
Highlights of their game against Iowa coming up.
Welcome back to the State Farm FS1 College Football Halftime Show. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Acho, CP, and me back at the half. At UCLA and Penn State last met way back in 1968. Earlier today, they took the field at Happy Valley. And our big noon kickoff game on Fox. And how are you feeling about Penn State right now?
This kind of looked like it might have been played in 1968.
Drew Allen, the offense, has been playing much better this season. I guess you give credit to UCLA's defense keeping them in the game here. You see Allen right there to Tyler Warren, 14-3 game there. And then third quarter, Allen to Julian Fleming, the Ohio State transfer. They need more out of him.
No doubt about it.
Next play, Katron Allen punches it in. Penn State wins it 27-11. They're 5-0 for the 4th consecutive season. After the game, Allen with our Jenny Tack.
Well, Drew, congratulations. 5-0 this season, 2-0 in the Big Ten. Coach Franklin challenged your receivers to step up today. 8 different guys were involved. How pleased were you with what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I think after the first 2 drives, since we had a slow start, we started to pick it up. And I think really the second, late first quarter going into the second quarter, we started getting things going. And right before the half, going down and scoring was huge for us going into halftime with momentum. But yeah, the receivers are doing a great job. It's fun getting a lot of guys involved, and a lot of guys made plays after the catch today. It's going to help our team overall.
Iowa, number 3, Ohio State, Will Howard to Emeka Buka. 14-yard touchdown. Who's Ohio State got next?
That's Ohio State receiving core, though. Boy, I tell you.
Yeah.
God, dog.
Ohio State's got Oregon, trying not to overlook Iowa this week. Howard, look at Jeremiah Smith.
Acho,
yes, sir.
with that type of protection and that receiver, you could play quarterback.
How about this? Can he play like this, though?
Look, my one hand. God, dog, this is one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in college football.
True.
He's a freshman.
Freshman. Buckeyes rolling right now, 21-0 in the third. Shocker of the day, Alabama after that big win against Georgia. Maybe a letdown against Vanderbilt. Well, it isn't a letdown because Vanderbilt came out punching them. Look at Cedric Alexander. Woo!
That is big boy football.
Man, Commodore is a much better team this season.
Clark Lee.
They're actually pretty good.
He's been building the Vandy.
Jalen Milroe, maybe your Heisman favorite right here. He wants that one back. Deflected, picked off by Randon Fontenette.
He carrying it like a loaf of bread. You better tuck that away.
He got it in 13-0. And they add to it. Alexander, 1-yard touchdown, second rushing touchdown of the game. Vanderbilt up 20-7 here. Alabama coming back though. Jam Miller getting it inside, 3-yard touchdown. His second TD Right now, it's 23-14, a minute to go in the second quarter, and Vanderbilt is threatening again. Georgia trying to rebound. Taking on Auburn here. Opening possession, Carson Beck, Lawson Lucky.
That's a good-looking strike. You put it on the big fella's body, he can rack it for you.
And they will convert Trevor Etienne. 2-yard touchdown, Georgia up 7-0. But Carson Beck, who had the huge second half against Alabama, looking for Dominic Lovett, finds him.
Was he trying to throw it?
You tried to throw it, not to him.
Maybe you knew it was behind him. But look at this. It's only a 14-10 lead. Alabama.
Yeah, man.
Big game against Georgia last week.
Yes, sir.
Number 1 team in the nation. Could this be one of those games where they just have a letdown after that huge emotional win last week?
It is. Truth be told, this is why Coach and myself are sitting at the desk to talk about games like this. Let me take you all into the mentality of the player. If you're 18, 19, 20, Alabama poured their heart, their soul, every ounce of energy they had into last week's game. You got Coach, we'll make him Kalen DeBoer. You got Coach, who's incredibly intense, incredibly intentional, incredibly hyped last week going into Georgia. By the end of that Georgia game, you win. You exhale. You got out of there with the W. You're the number 1 team in the nation. So not only did you win, you became the number 1 team in the nation. Oh, you got a little Vanderbilt.
You're expecting to win.
Them little nerves. And then you go out there, and Vanderbilt is licking their chops because you are their Super Bowl or their national championship game, if you believe. So as the player, I've been in those situations when you play Oklahoma, you put everything into that game, and then after you get the W, you forget, oh, snap, we got to play Missouri next week. And I think that's what's going on with Alabama right now.
You probably are not wrong. But I will say this is why we love college football.
Yes, sir.
And I will tell you this, you two guys are just jumping right into the fan bandwagon.
What happened,
driving me nuts.
What happened, Coach? What's going on there? Talk to us.
Because that's why we play 4 quarters.
Yes, sir.
It's not going to all be clean and pretty at all the time. You know, these are kids that are still trying to figure it out. And, you know, I mean, Nick Saban would talk about this, about focusing on the process. And I know that sounds so cliche-ish. Kalen DeBoer is no different. This is just a process of this game. So they haven't played their best football at halftime. I promise you this, Kalen DeBoer will not be in that locker room ranting and raving, overreacting.
But they're sloppy right now.
And that's the problem.
Sloppy. 2 interception in this game, penalties, third down conversions. They came in with the best third down defense in the nation right now, 7 for 10 for Vanderbilt.
This is the biggest problem for me, though, Coach. If you give Vanderbilt too much hope, because don't get it twisted, they got players, too. You give them too much hope, they will believe they can beat Alabama, and all it takes sometimes is belief.
There's no question. Confidence is cash. It changes everything in life and on the football field. But I'm telling you, this is a 4-quarter game.
Yes, it is.
You can't panic. You keep playing. You win it in the 4th quarter, Mike.
For Kalen DeBoer's sake, I'm telling you, I don't care what they did against Georgia. You lose against Vanderbilt. You know how they are in Tuscaloosa.
You are embarrassing me, Mike. Stop being that Alabama fan.
You know what? All right. I'm not going to be an Alabama fan. All right. For now. Until after this commercial break. Hey, talking about Missouri, maybe Missouri was looking ahead too, because the Aggies put it on them today, and then, oh my gosh, look at what Nebraska's doing against Rutgers. The defense is doing well. Dowdell's in the end zone. They're up 14-0 at the half.
Welcome back to the State Farm FS1 College Football Halftime Show. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Only ranked matchup of the day, SEC, 9th-ranked Missouri, 25th-ranked Texas A&M, but this was all Aggies.
I think Missouri forgot the bye week ended last week.
They came off a close win against Vanderbilt, and Texas A&M just put it on them today. Moss, once again, inside, making things happen outside. Here we go.
512 total yards from the Texas A&M offense today.
That's pretty good, ain't it?
Incredible.
Yeah,
Mike Elko, let's go.
Number 12, Ole Miss trying to bounce back. South Carolina, a really solid team this year. Jackson Dart, Jordan Watkins. You got the tackle.
You sure did.
Yeah, you got the tackle. Okay, yeah. That wasn't out of bounds. J.J. Pegues.
Oh, let the big fella rumble.
Look at him just strolled into the end zone like he's done it before.
Pegues went
24-3 Ole Miss. Big win. SMU, number 22, Louisville. This is going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, sneaky, really good game here.
O.J. Johnson Jr., SMU up by 7. Tyler Shuck.
Emmanuel.
Looking fourth quarter.
Talk to me, Coach.
What conference is SMU in?
Hell of a question, Coach.
No, right? They're playing an ACC team. We assume
it's a good win no matter what league they're in.
5-1.
I forgot to.
Pitch in the ACC taking on North Carolina. Oh, North Carolina wishes they had Julius Peppers back. They've been struggling the last
I was talking to Mac Brown yesterday. He knew how much he needed this win for North Carolina.
He'll tie the game at 24 there, but fourth quarter still tied. Eli Holstein keeping it. And how about Pitt?
Yeah.
Pitt,
yeah.
5-0 on the season.
Yeah, Pitt.
What's going on? Got the win, 34-24. Indiana's 5-0. Northwestern, Indiana's ranked. Curtis Ward, Miles Cross, back in the end zone. Hoosiers up 14-7. Then Ward to Keyshawn Williams looking, finding, scoring.
I know we're talking about Heisman's and all those type of things, but Coach of the Year early, Kirk Cignetti out the gate fast at 5-0.
They're on their way to 6-0, 27-17 right now. Hey, tomorrow is a huge day of football on Fox at 1 Eastern. Browns take on rookie sensation Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. I know y'all been talking about it on the facility. Or at 4, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals take on Brock Purdy and the Niners. Check for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Janirin Bonner getting into the end zone on the 2 touchdowns from Nebraska in the first half. See what happens in that second half coming up momentarily.
Nebraska 14-0. And our first half check-in is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. The Huskers outgaining the Scarlet Knights, and perhaps this Rutgers team, Robert, is starting to be exposed a little bit. You have Manungai and all he does, but there hasn't been much other than his running prowess.
No, there certainly hasn't, and Ethan Kelly-McManus has got to make better decisions and better throws, quite frankly, here in the second half. I mean, we saw it on the very first play. Had an opportunity to hit Fletcher, his tight end, on that first down throw, very first play of the game. You just can't afford to make those kind of mistakes if you're the quarterback. Now, look, I know he had to throw the one ball because it was a 4th down, but just the way that he threw that ball and then the way he threw a ball behind a receiver later, had the interception. They have got to get something out of the passing game because this Nebraska defense is not just going to allow them to line up and hand the ball off to Manungai and dominate and get down the field. So they have got to get something going in that pass game.
The Rutgers ball to begin the second half. Christian Dremel, the deep man. And let's give credit to Nebraska's defense held firm. This is a team that coming in was averaging only 12 points per game against. And this will be a touchback to begin the second half. The defense was sturdy for Nebraska in the first half.
Yeah, they certainly were. Tony White does a great job with that 3-3-5 defense. How many times have we called Marquise Buford's name in that first half? Tremendous job, and here was the fake field goal. Both of these teams have had issues with their kickers, so trying something a little bit different. But, man, Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker along that defensive line, those guys are big, but they can move. Excellent with their hands, violent with their hands. It's no wonder they're so stout up front.
Nebraska held the first 3 opponents they faced this year to 10 points or fewer. That hadn't happened in nearly 2 decades. And they're on the path to doing something similar this week. This pass will be incomplete with Kelly-McManus under duress. Second down.
A little surprise there, getting like Bayer got there a little bit early. Throw a flag there.
Kelly-McManus throwing 2 interceptions in the first half to 6 for 16 on the game now. Manungai will He faked, and they'll complete to Miller instead along the far sideline. So it's interesting, Cal McManus, when he's on time, solid.
Oh, no question about it. We talked about it. That compact delivery, and he's got a cannon for an arm. And you know, what this Nebraska defense is going to do in this second half, you're going to see a lot more three-high structures that aren't just the safety sitting back there. They're going to load up that box. So there are going to be some opportunities for those intermediate type throws, but you know Nebraska is going to be playing deep, not giving up deep throws.
Gain of 17 for Miller. Anungai tried to bounce to the outside, and he's swarmed and brought down. Just a gain of 1. Vincent Shavers Jr., the true freshman, in there on the tackle. Nebraska not afraid to play those true freshmen. And you see Anungai. Those 64 yards accounting for the bulk of the yardage on the ground for Rutgers as a team out with 73 total in the first half.
Chris Long and Ian Strong on the outside lined up man-to-man. May have some opportunities with one of those two.
Cal McManus to pass, and a wide open target along the far side. It'll be a first down for Strong, as you mentioned, making himself available, and it's a first down for Rutgers.
Yeah, we weren't sure if Strong was going to play this week. You can see he's a real big target there, 6'3", 211 pounds, and it's our man Marquise Buford just playing a little soft on the outside. Give him an opportunity like that, he's going to convert.
Strong has been the leading receiver by yardage the last 2 weeks for Rutgers, but questionable for this game. Into Husker territory. Cal McManus changing the play call at the line of scrimmage. Anungai powers ahead, picks up 2 on first down. Nebraska, keep in mind, their run defense is top 20 in the nation. Came in only averaging 85 yards on the ground per game against.
But Kelly McManus, he's got the brace on the left leg as well. And we said he's not really a true runner, but he could certainly be dangerous with his legs. You just wonder, he's probably not 100%. Looked like there were some opportunities where he could have held the ball on some zone reads.
And a good pickup. He's going to pass here. It's deflected and intercepted. Or incomplete, I beg your pardon. Gifford with the deflection. And it's third down.
Yeah, Gifford coming off at the edge here. Kelly McManus just going to give it a shot, right? It's one where you might want to try the double pump, but that's a lot easier to say when you're up here in the booth than it is to execute it down on the field.
Brown in the backfield on third down. With time, Cal McManus, wobbling ball, incomplete. Way too high for Strong. It sailed on him. And it's fourth down. And again, Rutgers is able to get into Nebraska territory, but they stall out.
Yeah, and I don't want to make excuses for Kelly McManus, but talk about having that brace on that leg. He's not 100%. Not only is he not running the football and the opportunities where he might, but it can just mess up the mechanics. A right-handed quarterback stepping into throws sometimes can be difficult if that left leg is a little banged up.
Jacob Anderson, a knuckling punt that will take a Rutgers bounce and roll all the way inside the 3-yard line, down to about the 2. A 43-yard punt, pinning Nebraska. The Huskers will have it when we come back. Finally starting to cool down here in Lincoln. 95 degrees at kickoff. Nebraska, they wanted some balance on offense, and they're finding it today.
Yeah, they certainly have. And Ramir Johnson, we can see the run initially. His backfield mate, Dowdell, got into the end zone, driving the ball downfield here to Jamal Banks. And then it was Bonner with the acceleration and the nice little moves in the end zone after.
Last week, a first half to forget. Keep in mind the second half has been the worst of the two in general this year. This is a great start to this drive after Nebraska had their worst starting field position this afternoon. Dowdell able to get them out of the shadow with their goal line and pick up a first.
Well, same play they scored on the goal line. Get the fullback leading through, and you get Justin Evans, the left guard, pulling around, and Shaquan Loyal comes up to make the tackle, just doesn't quite fit it properly.
Nebraska top 10 in FBS this season in first downs gained. And you see the shadows now entirely covering the field, providing some relief down there after a hot start to the day. This will net him a yard on first down with Johnson.
Similar situation in reverse to what Rutgers had a week ago against Washington. Excuse me, a couple weeks ago against Virginia Tech. Got that early lead and were able to just grind some clock early in that second half.
Johnson tried to reverse field. Instead, he's going to be tackled for a loss. And it's third down. Now here's the challenge for Nebraska. Can they step on the gas pedal, go in for the kill in this second half? Clearly they've had the better of the Scarlet Knights this afternoon. Do they have that finishing touch, that killer instinct that's eluded them in so many, or wind up being one-score games over the last decade, if we're being honest? Raiola flushed out, and he hits his target across the 25-yard line for a first down. It's Lloyd, Jalen Lloyd, the Omaha native, with the reception.
Boy, Lloyd, the deep threat in this offense, and see that move to the outside, and this is the arm strength of Dylan Raiola, driving that thing outside the numbers. Nice job of Lloyd pulling that thing in.
Now Nebraska 6 for 11 on third down this afternoon. Gain of 14 there. Hand off on first down. And a solid run for Johnson. They widen out the lens for Nebraska and where this stretch of games becomes so important for them. They have their bye week coming up. Then they play number 23 Indiana, who seems to be handling their business against Northwestern today. They'll have 4 of their final 6 games on the road, and that includes a clash at Ohio State at the end of this month. But the path is there to get to 6-1 potentially before that. Again, it's Johnson, and it'll be third down.
Yeah, and to your point there, you talking about Matt Rule, and you look back at some of the articles in preseason, kind of what the expectations were and what level of improvement would be coming into this year. Of course, 5-7 a year ago, missing out on bowl eligibility, and you're cautiously optimistic going into season, but sitting now with an opportunity to get one win away from bowl eligibility.
And that young man has been a large part of it with Raiola. Raiola to pass, throws behind his receiver. Tough to tell. I think that ball may have been deflected. Tyreen Powell, starting middle linebacker for the Scarlet Knights. Looked like he got close to it, may have grazed his fingertips on it. And it's fourth down.
Yeah, I was trying to get that ball to Barney, and you're right. Looked like a funny flight on that ball. I haven't seen the replay yet. You can see Buschini still sore. You can see him on the sideline working on that hip area after that first punt was tipped. The person that tipped it ran into him.
Yeah, it was quite the collision. And again, kicking has been such a sore spot for the Huskers all year. Ooh. And part of the issue has been with the long snapper. There's a flag down by the deep man and Christian Dremel.
Delay a game. Kicking team, number 13. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Long snapper is Camden Witucky. Nebraska averaging just 33 net yards on punts this season. Brian Buschini, former Montana Grizzly. This is blocked. Up for grabs, picked up by the Scarlet Knights. Quan Loyal to the goal line. Hits the pylon, but he is ruled out at the 3. Second block punt for Rutgers this afternoon.
It's Jameer Wright Collins just right up the middle on this one. Unusual. The upbacks weren't expecting that pressure from there. They're able to corral that, almost take it all the way in.
And for the 5th time this season, the Huskers have had a kick blocked.
Boy, that's
now
just
3 block punts, 2 block field goals.
Boy, it drives you crazy as a coach, right? You can never take that 3rd phase for granted.
And clearly Buschini's not 100%, but he hasn't had much support. And now the best opportunity for Rutgers to score this afternoon on a sudden change. Monungai bottled up in the backfield and ripped down by Gifford for a loss. Loss of 3 on the play, 2nd down and goal.
And Hutmaker, number 0, all 6'4", 310 pounds of him. He breaks free with that first shot for Monungai, and then Isaac Gifford's there to clean it up. We talked about those guys in the middle, man. Hutmaker and Robinson, they are big bodies, but they got quick feet and can defeat blocks quickly.
Nebraska has not allowed a rushing touchdown all season. On 2nd down, Kaliakmanis to pass, and a flag comes in. Pass falls incomplete, but it looked like there was some jockeying going on in the end zone between Miller and Singleton.
Holding, defense, number 8. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, 1st down.
Take a look at this, lined up in the slot. Oh, jeez. He just pulls him right down to the ground. Just doesn't make any attempt at all. Now look, the receiver, or excuse me, the defender owns that space, but you can't grab him like that. You can collision him, but you can't grab him. Certainly can't grab him and pull him down to the ground.
So a fresh start for Rutgers, 1st down and goal. Monungai in the backfield. They'll give it to him. Monungai trying to get there to the goal line and marked short. He's celebrating, thinking that he just scored, but he was marked at the half-yard line.
Let's see if that knee was down. Certainly looked like he got over the goal line. We don't have a look yet. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it from this angle. I don't know what the officials saw, but clearly the ball's over the goal line right there. He's going down.
No review. 2nd down and goal. A half-yard to get it. Monungai will not. Hutmaker again.
Look at the Olay move by Hutmaker on the inside. He slides over 2 full caps on this play and gets all the way back to jump on Monungai's back on that play. What an athletic play by the big man.
Strength on strength. 3rd down and goal. Fake the give. Pass caught and tackled shy of the goal line. Fletcher is ripped down by Singleton. It's 4th down and goal.
Well, first, we're going to see the move by Hutmaker. slide over and then jump on the back of Monungai to get the stop, and then Deshaun Singleton, man-to-man coverage, has to follow Fletcher on the motion. Nice secured tackle to keep him out of the end zone, and forced fourth down.
Flags come in.
I think Demir Miller jumped in the slot.
Prior to the snap, timeout. Rutgers. The first of the half will be a full media timeout.
Matt Rule not thrilled with the Scarlet Knights getting their timeout in under the wire. Looking for a goal line stand and looking to preserve a 14-0 lead. Well, we can't say that the Scarlet Knights have had no chances. They just have not been able to execute.
No, they certainly haven't. And you see the fake field goal attempt right here. Shot by the Nebraska special teams, and then the doink by Patel off that right upright. Couple interceptions from Callie McManus, but here an opportunity on fourth down. Get some points on the board.
85,000 plus on their feet, looking for the stop.
Miller.
Callie McManus to pass, nearly intercepted, and Nebraska comes up with the goods defensively. A block punt deep in their own territory. Rutgers picks it up inside the 10, and they come up empty. Still 14-0 Huskers in Lincoln.
Welcome back to Lincoln. We're going to take a look at that last play, and here you're going to see Miller. He's going to try and set a pick on Chris Long, and he's going to try and set that pick on Marquise Buford. Buford runs through it, but Callie McManus, again, the throw behind and threw it a little bit early. Chris Long wouldn't have been in that spot even if it was a good pick. Ends up in an interception.
Buford's had quite the afternoon. Credited with 3 pass breakups as Dowdell will gain a yard here. Again, Nebraska pinned near their own goal line after coming up with the goal line stand. And the Huskers and their defense, they came to play today. Offensively, they found a little bit more balance. Special teams has been the nagging issue, as it's been all year. And of course, they're without their usual place kicker, Tristan Alvano. Still a couple of weeks away, we hear. Raiola, dangerous throw. It falls incomplete. Intended for Fedoni. Loyal was there and nearly had a look at it.
Now, we've talked about Loyal being such a physical player, but really diagnoses that route from Fedoni and almost snatches that ball away. Man, Loyal's he's one of those guys, man. He is just a football player, man. You can just tell the way that he diagnoses things, but just will sell out completely. Plays with reckless abandon.
Raiola in his own end zone throws it incomplete, and it'll be a 3-and-out for Nebraska. And now we've seen how poor the kicking situation is here with what appears to be a compromised punter and Brian Buschini. Now he has even less room to work with.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt what they're going to be going for here.
Sell out?
Absolutely, you sell out and try and block it.
Dremel is on the Nebraska side of midfield. About the 43-yard line. Not a lot of room to work with here. And Buschini will get this one away. Dremel from the 40. Has a blocker or two in front of him. Takes it across the 30. 37 yards on the punt and a 13-yard return. But you can see how Buschini, after taking that hard shot earlier in the game, is still wincing in pain. He was a former FCS Punter of the Year when he was at the University of Montana. But between he and the long snapper and place kicking situation, it's just been a house of horrors.
And you've got 145 guys on your roster. You would think, I think you'd have another guy that you could insert in there and not expose him to those extra punts.
Either way, Rutgers will start at the Nebraska 28 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Scarlet Knights are not out of this yet. The only thing, though, is it seems like this run game has been neutralized as the game has gone on. Manungai there for no gain.
64 yards on the first drive, 66 yards total since then. Or 2 yards total.
Right.
66 total. It's unbelievable. He really came out cranking with that run game, but credit Tony White, defensive coordinator for Nebraska, and that defensive front. They've done a nice job since then.
Came in averaging 237 per game. Kaliakmanis can't get away. Shoelace tackle from Hutmaker. And a loss of 3.
Really coverage sack here on the back end. Hutmaker does a nice job, though. You see the violent hands ripping Gus Zelinskis getting by. When Kaliakmanis tries to escape, he just gets that big old paw and swipes and hits that ankle.
On third down, Kaliakmanis is dropped again, all the way back at the 45-yard line to take him out of field goal range. James Williams, couple of sacks last week against Purdue, brings the goods here.
Ryan, Kaliakmanis just has nowhere to go. You're going to see Williams coming from that right side, and that's where Kaliakmanis is initially trying to go. Just dominant along that offensive line. The defensive line of Nebraska brought the house, got home.
The Huskers have gotten stronger and stronger defensively as the game has worn on. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda from his own 10-yard line will let this bounce into the end zone and will take the touchback. 1:45 to go in the third, and Nebraska imposing their will on Rutgers. Rutgers with 2 possessions in Nebraska territory this half. 0 yards and negative 16 yards. Team comparison sponsored by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 19 hotel brands, 6,000 destinations, and so far Rutgers has not found a destination that has paint in one end zone.
Well, and if you're Marcus Satterfield, offensive coordinator for Nebraska, I mean, you want to see better play on this offense, though. Especially on that last drive, Dylan Raiola just really seemed to not be able to get into rhythm. And I had an opportunity to talk to him just as he was leaving the field, and he said the thing that he really needs to work on is his footwork. As we know, that's the source of inaccuracy for all quarterbacks.
Well, this one he tries a little 3-quarter delivery and can't connect with Janiron Bonner, who scored the second Nebraska touchdown.
And those little things can be the difference for a quarterback. It's how you perform, how low you go at your worst a lot of times, right? You know, how consistently you're playing your best football, and getting that footwork down is so important, especially for a young quarterback like Raiola.
That's a nice run here from Johnson. Just shy of the marker for the 29. Third down and 1 upcoming.
Get the big man, the left guard again. Justin Evans pulling to the outside.
Hey, well, that saves a big chunk. Flip Dixon coming to the rescue for Rutgers defensively. 3rd down and 1. Johnson fighting for the yard. He got it.
He paid for it, too. Desmond Igbinosun came up and gave him that extra little shot, but he had already gotten the 1st down.
I'll tell you what, though, on a day where maybe Raiola hasn't looked his sharpest, that's where having the balance of this run game and especially the play of this offensive line has been so important for Nebraska.
You know, I think that's something that Matt Rule understood. That's Big Ten football, right? You really have to get it right in the trenches.
Hand off Johnson. And he's met by Moses Walker, junior from Staten Island. A gain of 2. As the quarter ticks down here in Lincoln. To the delight of this sellout crowd, they have pitched a shutout through 3. The Nebraska defense holding firm. Can they close out and get to 5-1 and end Rutgers' unbeaten season? We head to the 4th quarter. Nebraska up 14-zip. Don't forget, coming up after us here on FS1, Game 1 of the NLDS. Shohei Ohtani makes his postseason debut for the Dodgers as they take on the surging San Diego Padres. 8 o'clock Eastern on FS1, the exclusive home of the NLDS. Alex Faust and Robert Smith here with you. 14-0 Nebraska over unbeaten Rutgers. Huskers looking to get to 5-1 on the season before they hit their bye week. Their offense maybe not as sharp in the second half here, but their defense has paved the way. Raiola taking a shot, sideline, a little bit of contact, and the fans wanted a flag. Pass intended for Isaiah Nair. No flag, 3rd down.
Yeah, and Eric Rogers going to be in coverage here, and a little bit of hand fighting going on. You see Nair pushing, but you could see Rogers grab the jersey there a little bit and wonder if they may have thought that one was uncatchable, but it's got to be pretty clearly uncatchable. And you can see right there what Matt Rule thinks about the no call.
Didn't throw a headset this time, though.
I don't think he was wearing one.
That's true, as he did last week. Play clock down to 2. Raiola rolls to his right, looks downfield, and this pass is incomplete. He's threw it in an area where nobody could catch it, really. He's trying to get his running back check down at Johnson. 4th down, and Nebraska will again have to punt. Keep in mind they've had 2 of these blocked this afternoon.
Yeah, and again, Marcus Satterfield, you get more out of that passing game, and with a true freshman quarterback, it's really all about reps, right? Any quarterback, you got to get live snaps. There's no substitute for it.
Justin Dremel, the deep man, they're going to fake it, and what a play! On a day where kicking in every way has not worked. Nebraska pulling a trick out of their bag. And Lloyd is into Rutgers territory.
I love it. Brian Buschini going to make the throw to Jalen Lloyd on the outside. And a very muted celebration from Buschini. Obviously, he's sore from getting run into early in the game, but he drops a dime there.
He may not be feeling well, but that was a sublime throw. That ought to feel good. Drive continues. Raiola steps up to evade the rush. Can't get away from the second wave. Jordan Thompson wraps him up. Winds up being a loss of 5 on the play. Loss of 4, I beg your pardon. 2nd down and 14.
Well, coming into the season, I mean, the question about Nebraska, he plays in, look at that, 27 plays for Rutgers.
I mean, 7 out of their 8 drives have wound up in Nebraska territory. They have 0 points. And Nebraska, keep in mind, they used those shot plays in the first half to set things up with their run game. Swing pass to the outside, well covered by the Rutgers defense. Bo Masco coming up with the tackle in the open field, and it's third down.
And this Rutgers defense just playing soft on the outside. But the point that I was going to make about Nebraska is everybody knew Dylan Raiola being a 5-star quarterback. You felt you had the quarterback, but do you have those guys on the outside, guys that can get open consistently? And what you're seeing here, this Rutgers defense playing pretty soft. Not a lot of openings downfield for Raiola to hit.
That's what defenses have done against Nebraska this year. They've laid back and forced Raiola to beat him. And Raiola is sacked here, back by midfield. Aaron Lewis, one of the top pass rushers to begin this season in the Big Ten. His second TFL, and it's fourth down. Loss of 6.
Good violent hand swim move from Aaron Lewis to win quickly. No options downfield for Dylan Raiola. No opportunity to escape.
First sack of the season for Lewis.
But he did a good job rushing against Drones, the Virginia Tech quarterback, as well.
Buschini gets this one away, and it will bounce at the 1 and skip out of bounds at the 5.
Well, he's got that swag. Brian Buschini, after the injury earlier in the game, completes a pass on fourth down. He got paid in full on this one with a little backspin.
So I start my mission, leave my residence, thinking how could I get some dead present.
Homecoming weekend in Lincoln. Little Red, Big Red. What a scene. And all the tractors and a little parade. Love the vibe in this stadium, the environment. It's a really intimate stadium, even with 85,000. Steep pitch of the seats that are right on top of the field, including right on top of this Rutgers offense, trying to get away from their own end zone. Ethan Kaliakmanis, another incomplete pass that sails over top of KJ Duff this time. Sierra Wright in coverage, second down. 401 consecutive sellouts for Nebraska football, a streak that goes back more than 6 decades, the longest in any collegiate sport. And just so you know, the final 3 home games are also sold out. On second down, fake the handoff. Kaliakmanis rolls to his right, skips one well short of the target in Dymere Miller. Flag on the play. In fact, 2 of them thrown. And it looks like this is going to go against Rutgers.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 63. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Taj White in at that left guard spot for the injured Brian Felter. Just gets a little bit too far downfield, and it's about as bad a situation as you can get for this Rutgers offense with a quarterback that definitely struggled today. Just be smart if you're Kirk Shiraka, the play caller.
Flag on the snap. This will be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 72. After this is to the goal. Third down.
It's Holland Pierce, senior left tackle from Trenton. Yeah, that about says it all. The look on the face of Greg Schiano Going to try to keep chopping, but this has been a rough go of it. 3rd and 12. Feet away from their own end zone. Manis drops back, passes, sideline. A ball that is caught just shy of midfield to bail out the Scarlet Knights. Ben Black reels it in. First big pass play of the half for the Scarlet Knights, a gain of 43.
Ben Black, the true freshman, working on Marquise Buford on the outside, runs right by him. But a nice throw from Manis because Deshaun Singleton, the safety, just didn't have an opportunity to get over there. And you're making that deep throw like that with a hash safety. Not always easy to make that throw, especially in a high-pressure situation out of your own end zone.
Longest play of the game by far for the Rutgers offense. Manis looking again, taking a deep shot, far side, well overthrown. Duff, the intended target.
There's two true freshmen back-to-back, right? Ben Black and
late flag here, by the way, Robert. Sorry.
Holding. Defense number 3. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The wheel of fortune if you're a cornerback, right? Sometimes the good, sometimes the bad. We talked about Marquise Buford, how well he played early in this game. Gets a little bit sloppy with his footwork and gets a little bit grabby as Ben Black is running by him right there. Fans don't like the call.
This is the 8th time Rutgers has been in Nebraska territory, but they still have no points on the afternoon. Brown is ridden out of bounds here at the 40-yard line. A gain of 5 on first down. The fans still voicing their displeasure after that penalty. This game is far from over, folks.
Oh, no question about it. 14-point lead, 10 minutes in this game. And it looks like Ethan Manis has really kind of settled down. I mean, he's had some decent throws downfield. One of them, of course, the big completion to the true freshman, Ben Black.
Manis well protected, taking a shot into coverage. It is incomplete, dropped by Black. He would have been able to waltz into the end zone.
Oh, and Marquise Buford falls down, and Ben Black, I think in a situation like that, just panics a little bit, and like the ball just bounces off of his helmet and shoulder. Oh. Brutal, just not tracking the ball, but what a throw from Manis.
3rd down. Manis pumps and is swarmed. Pocket broke down on him, and James Williams has another sack.
Yeah, the pocket breaks down, and Manis just ready to release this ball over the middle, but sees a defender break late. Hartzog steps in front of Miller, so he doesn't want to throw that ball. You called it, Williams, able to get home.
Loss of 5, back-to-back weeks with multiple sacks after 2 last week against Purdue. Rutgers will have to punt, and after getting onto the plus side of midfield for the 8th time, the outside of the foot, this will spin and fall all the way down to the 2-yard line. Rutgers again coming up empty. $14-0 on a warm, unseasonably warm Saturday in Lincoln. Nebraska trying to break out of this bowl drought. 7 seasons. Last time Nebraska was bowl eligible back in 2016. The only power conference team to not qualify for a bowl game over that span. Indiana, by the way, just went to 6-0. And that could be quite the clash in a couple of weeks. Just gonna phone up the execs at Fox. That might be something you may want for a big noon in a couple of weeks. Just saying.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Fun. Indiana Nebraska, that's a corn battle right there, man. I love it. Love the Midwest.
After a 43-yard punt from the Scarlet Knights, what a golden opportunity, right? And the drop at the 5-yard line. Nebraska, again, starting to shadow their own goal line. But the clock is their friend here. And the way that they've been able to control the second half of this game, and their defense, again, has been the biggest story of the two phases of the game so far. Maybe getting a little bit lucky on that last sequence.
Wow. I mean, what was crazy about that is our guy Marquise Buford. I mean, he's just a little bit worn out. He got beat on the one throw and really should have been beat on that one. Freshman makes that catch. Definitely 6.
Dowdell, tailback. Tried to juke to the left. Couldn't get away from Kaj Sanders. Picks up another yard here, and it'll be 3rd down.
When we talk about the composition, though, of this Rutgers team, that's another one of those true freshmen, Kaj Sanders. And Joe Harasimiak, defensive coordinator, made a point to talk about Kaj Sanders, and he's talked about how mature he is. You can see right there on that play, really just diagnosing things quickly. See what they can do here.
This Rutgers defense has certainly improved in the second half as well. Kicking game has pinned Nebraska inside their own 5 3 times. An incomplete pass here intended for Fedoni. 7:54 to go, and a 3-and-out for Nebraska.
Yeah, we talk about the footwork of Dylan Raiola, and I think, again, being a true freshman, just doesn't quite have a feel sometimes in the pocket of when that pressure is going to force him to have a different type of footwork, and he tries to make these quick throws and they end up being inaccurate because his feet aren't set.
High spiraling punt, and it'll be fair caught at midfield by Dremel. 7:48 remaining. Again, Rutgers has decent field position. What can they do with it? 8 times Rutgers has had the ball in Nebraska territory. Fake field goal, their first series of the game. Nope, that's not going to work. Then a doink in the second quarter. They had the ball in the Nebraska 34, couldn't convert it there. An interception, or near interception. Buford breaking up the pass at 4th and goal, and then this drop.
Man, that would hurt.
That would have surely led to a touchdown. I mean, Rutgers, in all reality, should have, what, at least 10 points at the very minimum in this game. I'll start at midfield. Alec-Manis to pass, and he hits his target short. It's KJ Duff who ducks out just shy of the marker. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, I like the play design by Kirk Shiraka, though. You know, they're taking a look at some of those receivers downfield, but unlike what you've seen from Nebraska, Dylan Raiola really hasn't had an opportunity to have late underneath throws, and there they go with the 6'6" true freshman KJ Duff coming across late.
Alec-Manis to hand it off. Monungai, haven't talked much about him. Nebraska's defense has found a way to neutralize him as the game's gone along, but Monungai picks up a 1st down here. I believe that's his longest run of the half, if I'm not mistaken. 8 yards to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, it's got to be. Started off with 64 yards on that first drive. Just a couple of yards over the next couple of quarters.
Going quickly here, and they'll hit Monungai. Gain of 4. 6:35 and ticking. Rutgers, remember, had to use one of their timeouts early in the half. Surely that won't become a factor. Handoff. Monungai follows his blocker, and he'll pick up 3 or 4 here. Set up a 3rd and short. sea of red comes to life again. And they'll have a 4th down to make some noise on. MJ Sherman making the stop here. Under 6 minutes to go. Substitution for the offensive line for Rutgers as Callie McManus tries to get the instruction in his radio.
That's not a substitution. That's supplementation. They're just bringing in extra bodies. Remember, Manungai took one of these out the back end.
The previous play is under review to see if the runner made the line to gain.
All right, well, that's a free timeout for Rutgers. And you're right, that is their heavy package, as it were. 2 or 3 extra linemen.
And MJ Sherman comes up to make the stop here. Kind of goes for a ride. Can't tell from this angle if there's something down early, but initially there, of course, that line's not official. Looks like he got past the first down marker. We'll see if there's a body part down. And it doesn't look like anything's down before that shoulder goes down. So if that superimposed line is correct, that's probably going to be a first down, or that's going to be a first down. He had one of his linemen underneath him, and nothing touches until that shoulder, and you match up those two views. When that shoulder hits the ground, looks like the ball's across the first down marker. You can't see the ball from that view.
And key here to your point is the ruling on the field was that he did not make it. Dean Blandino joining us. Dean, have you seen anything to dispute that?
Well, I'm looking at these 2 angles. This is a great look for what's down first, which looks like that left elbow. Then you take that sideline shot.
After review, the ruling on the field that the runner was short of the line to gain stands, and they did not have 12 on defense. It's 4th down.
They reviewed both.
Interesting, because
Dean.
I think the line to gain was actually the 23, so the yellow line might have been a little bit off. He certainly made the yellow line, but I don't know if they had enough. I guess they're saying they didn't have enough to say that he made the actual line to gain being the 23.
All right, here's their heavy package again. Trying to get a half yard on 4th down and 1.
Got it.
Initial spot says they moved it, and I can see the ball right at the bottom of that pile. That's a first down. And Rutgers can exhale for the time being. Clock approaching 5 minutes to play.
We haven't seen Ian Strong with an opportunity here for a while. He's lined up on the left side of the formation. May have a chance. Corner's dropping back.
On first down, Callie McManus to pass. Hits his target along the outside. It's Chris Long. Forced out of bounds by Wright, but it's another first down for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, we talked about the tendency for Callie McManus to throw behind receivers, and Chris Long does a nice job adjusting on this ball, reaching back and grabbing that one, and he did a great job getting his depth to get past the marker.
Knocked out of the 11-yard line. Manungai in the backfield with Callie McManus. Callie McManus to pass, floats one, end zone, incomplete, intended for Duff. Singleton and Wright both there for Nebraska.
Yeah, and Wright lets Duff get by him. You're talking about 6'6" here against Sierra Wright, 6 foot. Look at that late hand from Sierra Wright on the recovery, just tipping that thing away at the last second.
This is only the second red zone trip for Rutgers. Talk about all the times on the plus side of midfield, but obviously had a miss on a field goal. And the goal line stand earlier from Nebraska. Callie McManus to pass. Near side, caught at the 3-yard line. Diving for the goal line. A touchdown for Ben Black. Redemption for Black and the Scarlet Knights, who finally break through. And with 4:08 to go, they've made it a 1-score game.
Oh, what a throw from Callie McManus. Does this thing get tipped on the way? It does, and that's Marquise Buford, who leaps up and tips that thing. But an excellent job of concentration from the youngster, Ben Black, who dropped a sure touchdown earlier.
First career touchdown for the true freshman. And all of a sudden, it's gone quiet here in Lincoln. The Scarlet Knights have cut the lead in half.
You see Ben Black lined up on the outside here, and not sure what the call was there, but Marquise Buford moves like he's going to blitz there, allows Black to take off, and he stays underneath and tips that ball, but Black able to work that concentration, bring that thing in.
Nearly had his fourth pass breakup.
I mean, football is just amazing, right? You go through all of these ups and downs, momentum swings, the turnovers, opportunities in the red zone that they weren't able to convert on. Here we are with 4:08 left, and it's 14-7. And you look at Matt Rule there, it's, that's heartburn moments right there, right?
How about for the, let's call it 65,000 plus that are still in the stands here after a hot day in Lincoln. You want to talk about heartburn and agita? You can feel it here in Lincoln. How many times have they've been through the ringer in these one-score games over the last few years?
Wasn't it your decision to bring up that bowl streak graphic? It's kind of your fault.
I claim no credit for that. If you have any hate mail, you can send it to our production crew. I'm going to throw them under the bus on that one. 4:08 to go.
Well, I was going to say the fans in attendance, they don't want to see the excitement there. The ball falls off the tee.
Yep.
It's the only excitement they want to see for the rest here. They want their team just drive down the field and get a nice score and escape with a win on homecoming day.
Nebraska has lost 28 of the last 34 games that have been decided by one score. Ball falls off the tee again. They are 1-6 in games decided by 8 points or less under Matt Rule. It was a thing that plagued Scott Frost under his tenure here, and even last year Nebraska couldn't shake that. They made it a huge point of emphasis. They wanted to attack it head on. They created a motto to try to live by, to get rid of that bad juju, if you will. Rid yourself of the pressure of these close games. Try to find the joy in the competition.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but you got to go out and execute, and so much of that comes down to individual effort. Are you winning your personal battle and doing your 111th?
Johnson from his own 3, and Ramir Johnson gets clocked. That'll draw a flag. 11 yards on the return.
Looks like this is Dino Kelly-McManus that's going to come in, and Johnson's going to go down for the slide. Ooh, yeah. And that's going to be with targeting too, so he's going to be thrown out of the game, I'm guessing.
Personal foul, late hit by the kicking team, number defense 83 with targeting. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The targeting is under review.
So it's pretty clear. Defenseless player, once they go into the slide, any hit to the head and neck area, but it also looked like Kelly-McManus hit with the crown of the helmet, so I think this is going to be a quick review.
Now the key, too, is Johnson giving himself up.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's exactly the type of thing they try to legislate out of the game.
Yeah, it wasn't Dina, it doesn't look like it was crowned, but it was a defenseless player going into the slide, so any hit to the head and neck area. Is that about right?
That's right. You do have a defenseless player. There is forcible contact to the head and neck. The only thing I'm looking at here, was he forced into the contact? Was this contact that's going to push him? Does that create enough force to say he's not attacking? Could he avoid that contact? There's no question it's to the head neck area. If they take it off, that would be the only reason, that push from behind.
And would they, Dean, still be able to keep the late hit, just take the targeting down?
The late hit, that's going to be penalized regardless. It would just be the disqualification part of it.
Got it.
So Dean, even getting pushed like that?
Here's the call.
After video review, there's no foul for targeting. However, the 15-yard penalty will be enforced for first down. There's no foul because number 83 was pushed into the contact.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask, Dean, because it certainly looked like he lowered the head to get in a position. Even if he was pushed, it seemed like he could have gotten his head out of the way, but that was the call. Or do you think it might just be that it wasn't forcible?
No, that's the call. What they're saying, there has to be an attack. They call that an indicator of targeting. And with that push, they're saying, hey, that defender, that kicking team player, he couldn't avoid that contact. It's a judgment call. I kind of like the fact that they took the disqualification off. He's still going to have the 15-yard penalty. But again, when you're pushed from behind, because again, that's going to carry over to the next game, the first half. That feels egregious in terms of a penalty.
All right, Dean, we appreciate it as always. So what this does is move Nebraska to the 29-yard line. The clock is their friend. Rutgers only with 2 timeouts, 4:04 to go. And if Nebraska can pick up a couple of first downs, they might be able to put this one to bed. Johnson tackled after a gain of 3. Inside of 4 minutes to play.
Now you go with a little bit of play action.
Of course, they'll take this clock all the way down. Still 20 seconds to burn on the play clock. And Rutgers electing not to use their timeouts early here. Remember, they will have the 2-minute timeout as well. Second down and 7. From the 32. Handoff. Johnson met immediately. Chibome is there. And it's third down. It's a gain of 1, but still sets up a tricky third down here.
See big Thomas Fidone coming into the game. Number 24, 6'6" at that tight end spot. He brought in some speed. Ja'Cory Barney in there. You know how dangerous he can be.
2:42 and ticking. Third down. Wind that play clock all the way. Raiola in trouble, is ripped down. Sacked by Keontae Hamilton. And Rutgers will now call its timeout with 2:28 to go.
And we talked about Ja'Cory Barney. They send him in motion, and I'm not really sure why Dylan Raiola doesn't throw this ball. You don't have a view of it right there. Looked like he had an opportunity to hit him. Just thought, didn't want to try and make that throw. He hits him out of his break there. Well, that's not him right there. That's Nair further downfield, but it looked like Ja'Cory Barney broke open to the flat.
And the center, the veteran center, Ben Scott, got beaten badly on that one-on-one with Hamilton. Fourth down, and the stomachs are churning here in Lincoln. 2:28 on the clock. Rutgers with a timeout and the 2-minute timeout. Dremel at his own 40. Buschini will get it away. High punt. Great punt. All the way back to the 20. It'll bounce and skip down to the 10 and stop at the 11-yard line. It's been a painful day at times for Brian Buschini, but there are a couple of highlights you could put on the reel.
Oh, that's awesome, man. The fake on the fourth down, and they get the chant of boo for Buschini. That's got to make you feel a little bit better. We've seen a lot of grimaces from him since that first one that almost got blocked, and he took a hard hit, went into the ground.
He's going to deserve the ice bath tonight.
Woo.
69 yards on the punt.
What a great punt.
Tremendous. And now Rutgers will have to start at their own 11. They'll have to go 89 yards with 2:17, one timeout, and a 2-minute timeout on effort to try and tie this game. On first down, Kaliakmanis to pass. That ball looked like it may have been deflected. Well behind Chris Long in the end. Kaliakmanis took a shot after getting the pass away. It's second down.
We talked about it before with Kaliakmanis, because he's got that brace on. That element of his game is gone where he might be able to run for a first down. Don't know if he's healthy enough.
Kaliakmanis steps up in the pocket and is brought down after a gain of only 2. He may indeed be compromised. James Williams coming up with the tackle as we hit the 2-minute timeout. Is there a miracle finish to get Rutgers back in this game to tie? Can Nebraska hold on? Buckle your seatbelts. We're heading back to Lincoln for the stretch run right after this. Yeah, it's tense.
Sun's out. Still. Guns out.
Well, those Nebraska black shirts, this defensive unit, they've bent, they haven't broken. And now a time to shut the door. 2 minutes to go. Rutgers with one timeout. Down by 7. Third down and 8. And everything from here on out obviously is 4-down territory. Kaliakmanis with time to pass, steps up, tucks, runs, and is taken down. Well shy of the first down. Williams is having himself quite a second half. He has not lost sight of the quarterback at all. 4th down and 4. Scarlet Knights need it. Kaliakmanis to throw, and he's got it! Ben Black across the 25. Beg your pardon, that is Kenny Fletcher across the 25-yard line. And a first down for the Scarlet Knights. Gain of 13.
And once again, Kyle Monungai with a great block on the blitz allowed Kaliakmanis to get it off.
Kaliakmanis to throw this one away, well over top of KJ Duff. Clock will stop with 1:28 to go.
Getting a little bit of substitution on that defensive line. Cameron Lenhart in now. Fresh rusher. Try and get some pressure.
Kaliakmanis pass broken up. Tight coverage provided by Sierra Wright, who again it seems like has filled in for Tommy Hill in this game and has performed quite well. 3rd down.
We've seen most of the time only 4 rushers for Nebraska's defense. See if they try and get home here on 3rd or 4th down with a 5th rusher.
They bring it. Kaliakmanis gets rid of it. It's incomplete. And it's 4th down once again.
You called it, partner. It's going to be John Bullock's going to be that 5th rusher. He gets picked up, leaves Williams open on the sideline, forces the quick throw to Ben Black. Kaliakmanis not able to make the completion.
Rutgers 2 for 5 on 4th down. Already converted one here. 1:22 to go.
The flexibility of this type of front is where you can bring that extra rusher from.
Timeout Nebraska.
You're Tony White, the defensive coordinator. You want to see what they come out lined up in and see the discussion there on the sideline. That's one of those, okay, 4th and 10. Do you bring the pressure, or do you play coverage?
Mentioned that big game coming up against Indiana, who moved to 6-0 after a win over Northwestern today, then Ohio State. Nebraska trying to get to 5-1 here. 4 of their final 6, as mentioned, will be on the road, but there's a pathway to bowl eligibility. And maybe even a pathway to a Big Ten title if things line up their way. Looking for the close here. Kaliakmanis pumps and is sacked. Finally got rid of the pass in the end. But who else but James Williams, who has been a beast in the second half for Nebraska.
And Williams changes it up this time. It's going to be a spin move to the inside. It's going to allow him to get home. He's going to be working on right guard Tyler Needham. Spins, gets home, adds to the sack total.
Nebraska takes over. And the Huskers, off to their best start since 2016, will move to 5-1. Well-deserved pat on the back and then some for James Williams. Another standout performance.
You can see the emotion there on the sideline, man. Just love it. Just go through so much together as a team, and everybody's so happy for him.
It's over. Rutgers is unbeaten no more. They're going to call a timeout here before one more kneel down. Their next opponent will be Wisconsin. But the thing is, for the Scarlet Knights, they will only play 2 other Big Ten title contenders the rest of the way. James Williams is our hardest working player today, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Hugs and congratulations for a standout performance. He was just barely denied a 3rd sack, with Kaliakmanis able to get the ball off just in time before his knee hit the ground. And dapped up all over that Nebraska sideline. Sophomore from Parkville, Missouri. Standout game last week, and he upped it this week. And what was a spectacular performance by this Nebraska defense. They shut down the Scarlet Knights here today. One last kneel down. Now you can put it in the books. It may not yet be fully polished. It may not be yet where Nebraska thinks they can get to. But they will get to 5-1 on the season. A 14-7 win to end Rutgers' unbeaten start.
Yeah, always better when you can make those kind of corrections, and there will be plenty of corrections after a win.
The Huskers are 5-1, 2-1 in Big Ten play with a 14-7 win over Rutgers, as we send you back to Los Angeles for FS1 College Football.